each and every day on the radio, on the listening apps, on YouTube, and on social media. If you listen to Sports 1440 at work, well, maybe it's time to advertise on Sports 1440 at work. Grow your business, get your name out there. Shoot our ad team an email, Gregor at sports1440.ca. Let's get to work for you.
Are you overwhelmed by debt and getting nonstop calls from creditors? It can feel like there's no escape. Debt doesn't have to be a life sentence. A single call can turn things around. My name is Parveen Middleton. I'm a licensed insolvency trustee at BDO right here in Edmonton. I can help you become debt-free with a solution just for you. Let's put an end to those calls from creditors together. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to discover your debt-free future.
Salvi Group is celebrating 50 years of building homes and communities, and we want to share the celebration with you. For a limited time during our 50/50 event, you'll enjoy 50% off select packages. That's special savings, select upgrades, and added value, all designed just for you. Build new or move in sooner at Hillshire. There's never been a better time to call Hillshire home. Celebrate with Salvi Group and enjoy 50 years, 50% off. Visit Hillshire today. Salvi Group, 50 years of craftsmanship, quality, and commitment.
Jason Gregor Show. On Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Back to McKenna. Little finesse. Couple tracks. Shoots. McKenna. Overtime. Game winner.
Well, tremendous Tuesday afternoon. How are you? And welcome to the Jason Gregor Show. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching the show. As always, you can get involved. You can text us 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. We have lots to discuss. The Edmonton Oilers had a practice today. Leon Draisaitl was on the ice. Kasperi Kapanen practicing, but will not play tomorrow or Thursday right now, according to head coach Chris Knobloch. Connor McDavid didn't skate. I don't think the plan was for him to ever skate on Tuesday, to be honest. So I know some people are confirming he's not playing. I haven't seen that. I think that might be jumping the gun a little bit. Keep in mind, with Kapanen not playing, the Oilers only have 12 forwards. Do I think Connor McDavid's going to dress today? Yes, I do. That would be my instinct to see if he's going to be in the lineup or not. Gregor Show always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, and this could be a terrific Tuesday for someone. $65 million up for grabs in Lotto Max, alongside 8 Max Millions of $1 million prizes. So lots of opportunities. Get your tickets for tonight, 9 o'clock at PlayAlberta.ca. We got a loaded show for you today. Lots to discuss. The NHL's back tomorrow, baby. So should be good. Can't wait for that. We will hear from Aaron Portzline, the Columbus Blue Jackets, one of the hottest teams in the NHL. Now, I know you've been like, hey, Greg, we haven't seen the NHL in a while. Yes. So we're going to refresh your memory. Winners of 7 in a row. They are 9-1 in their last 10. And they have been steadily climbing the standings and now find themselves 4 points out of a playoff spot. They do have a game in hand on Boston, who holds down the second wild card spot. And they have 2 games in hand on the Islanders, who are in third place in the Metro Division. So can the Columbus Blue Jackets finish things off? That's going to be the question. Zach Werenski is expected to be in the lineup tomorrow for the Blue Jackets. And, you look at schedules now is really what's going to matter for a lot of teams. How tough is your schedule? How many teams you're chasing? Well, guess who the Columbus Blue Jackets are chasing? The Boston Bruins and the New York Islanders. Guess who their first two games are against? In Boston tomorrow, and then they have the New York Islanders at home on Saturday. Schedule maker, tip a hat to you. Somehow you looked in your crystal ball and you said, hey, let's get some meaningful games coming right out of the Olympic break. And boom, you have that for the Blue Jackets and the Islanders, as well as the Boston Bruins. Then they got New York, they got Nashville, Florida, Utah, LA. Then they got a tough road trip kind of into Florida and Tampa Bay and Philly. And so away you go. But the Jackets, they've been rolling. Can they continue it? We shall see. The Edmonton Oilers, they're another team. The schedule maker, tip your hat. The Oilers, currently in second place in the Pacific, but they're only 1 point up on Anaheim. They play them tomorrow. They're 4 points up in the Kings. The Kings have 2 games in hand. They play them on Thursday. The San Jose Sharks, 3 games in hand, 6 points back of the Oilers. They play them Saturday afternoon. So now speaking of that Saturday afternoon game, if you're looking to get together with some fellow Oiler fans, well, the 4th annual brunch for Ben Stelter is going on this Saturday at the Matrix Hotel. It's a brunch event. It's family friendly. It's the live watch party, all you can eat breakfast buffet, indoor mini golf experience. There's raffle prizes and much, much more. So if you want to get tickets, there's some tickets left available to help support the Ben Stelter Foundation. You can just go to nationgear.ca. Very simple. And you can see it there, or go to the Ben Stelter Foundation. But either one, if you're like, hey, you know what? I like that Ben Stelter kid, right? Really good family. You want to have some fun with some other fans. And I know a lot of the watch parties are usually for adults, so this one's much more family friendly, so you can get your kids out there. You can have some fun. And then, of course, that is a Saturday afternoon game. So check that out if you're looking for something to do on Saturday. Also on the show today, Dave McCarthy will be by. Matt Barrett, voice of the Edmonton Oil Kings. The Oil Kings and the Medicine Hat Tigers. Ooh, that is a little bit of a tilly that you should be wanting to go to. You should get your tickets. You can walk up and get them tonight, of course, as the Oil Kings are hosting them. 7 o'clock puck drop tonight, as those two teams still battling for first in their division. Medicine Hat started to kind of spread out a little bit here. So the Oil Kings, if they have any hopes of catching, they got to win tonight. It's just that simple. The Oil Kings haven't been bad lately. They go 5-5, but Medicine Hat went 7-1-2, and they gained 4 points. So Oil Kings, if they're going to want to catch them, I think this is a game tonight that they are going to need to win. Regular season in the WHL almost finished. They got 12 games left, so it is, well, for some teams 12, and for others 10. So coming down the wire, Danny Webster will be by. We'll talk about the Vegas Golden Knights. They are not in a overly comfortable position, but they are 4 points up on the Edmonton Oilers. The Oilers lost 3 in a row going into the break. Vegas won 2 in a row. That's really been the difference. So the Oilers and Vegas do play each other down the stretch a few times. Those games could be meaningful, but Vegas, what are they looking for at the trade deadline? So we'll get into that. Of course, so Speck will join us from Anaheim. We got DVD. Struddy will be by. We'll get to our stat of the day. Also, trade today. Brett Kulak, he's the traveling man this year. He will join his 3rd team this season as he is dealt from Pittsburgh to the Colorado Avalanche. Smaller defenseman Samuel Girard and a 2nd-round pick heading to Pittsburgh. Why did the Penguins get a 2nd rounder? Well, because Kulak made 2.75. Sammy Girard makes $5 million. So basically, they get the 2nd rounder to eat this year and next year $5 million of Sam Girard. Now, Sam Girard's a good NHL defenseman, but we've been saying this on the show for months. There is 0 chance Colorado is going to go in the playoffs with Malinsky and Girard in their bottom 4. You can't have 2 guys who are 5'10". It's just not going to work. That's not how the NHL functions today in the playoffs. Unless one of them's elite, then you can maybe get away with it. But those guys aren't elite. They're good players. but they're not elite. So that to me is not a very surprising trade. So they bring in Brett Kulak, save some $2.25 million on the cap. So leaves Colorado with more cap space. But they also get a guy who's a proven playoff performer. And I like this trade for Colorado. Obviously, it's not a bad trade for Pittsburgh either because they get a second rounder and they get a regular NHL player in Sammy Girard. So there's nothing negative about that. And of course, trade deadline, 10 days. 10 days away. And we'll see what the Edmonton Oilers have in store. Like I kind of chuckle when I see people report, oh, the Oilers are still engaging in trade talks for Andrew Mangiapane. In other news, it's still cold in Edmonton and it's February. Well, yeah, of course they're still engaged. Like, what, you thought Stan Bowman was just going to say, you know what? Not going to try to trade him anymore. Like, as if. That's not breaking news. Okay, we know the Oilers being tried. We talked about it every day on the show. Oh, yeah, still engaging in conversations for Andrew Mangiapane. Oh, well, thanks for that riveting. Come on, let's be real here. We all know they're trying everything they can to trade Andrew Mangiapane. I'll be stunned if he's not part of a package by next Friday. They got to free up $3.6 million cap space, man. They just have to. So we all know that makes it harder to do, but it doesn't mean it's impossible. It just means it's a little bit more challenging. So 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440 is where you can text us in our inbox. Hey, guys, I wonder if Bowman celebrated knowing that his best player is probably demolished, especially with the absolute crappy job Bowman and Jackson have done. Perplexed at how much crap McDavid and the Oilers fans and Canadians go through hockey because of America. What do you mean? Because, like, the Americans win once in 46 years, and now we go through a lot of crap because of them? Like, come on now. Let's not hyperbolize things. So they hadn't won Olympic gold in 46 years. They got completely outplayed, except in goal. And Canada missed a few great chances. So I'm not going to stress too much about it. You're part of the team you build. Like, do you think that the American players who have teammates on Team Canada are like, oh, man, we shouldn't celebrate because my teammate's going to be demolished? Of course not. You're part of the team that wins. You celebrate. Now, how you celebrate, we can have a whole discussion over. I don't know. Cons, like, hey, I understand in the U.S. that, when the team wins a championship, they're invited to the White House. They don't all go, but they're invited to it. Is this different? Like, I have no idea. Did the Olympians get invited to the State of the Union address on a regular basis every 4 years? I guess technically every 2 years because of Summer Olympics. I'm just curious if anybody knows the answer to that. Because if the answer is no, then this is just a sideshow, typical distraction. Nothing more, nothing less. How can we try to garner some excitement amongst our base? Oh, we'll bring the guys who just won a gold medal. Don't fool yourself into thinking it's anything more than that. So now, unless they do it all the time, then it's a regular thing. But I'm not sure if it is. I know that's an annual thing for whoever wins in NFL or NHL or NBA and all that stuff. I get it, but it seems just a little contrived to me. So we'll see. Hey, guys, I got a wish list. What about Alec Vlasic? What about Trouba? Blankenberg from Jay. Well, Blankenberg, to me, I'm not sure why Oilers fans want him. He's a smaller defenseman. Like, the Oilers have an elite puck-moving defenseman. Elite. Right? Are you going to play, Blankenberg in your ahead of Ty Emberson? Because that's really what it would be, right? He's a third pair right shot defenseman. He's 5'9". I'm sorry. He's not an elite player. He can't be in my bottom pair in the playoffs. No chance for me on him. Alex Vlasic in a heartbeat, but I don't see Chicago trading him. I don't see Chicago trading him at all. Trouba, no. The Anaheim Ducks are right in the playoff mix. They want to make the playoffs. They're not trading him. Falk, I'd be a strong pass for me. Parayko is a way better defenseman than Justin Falk. I'm not taking Falk at $6.5 million. There is zero chance of that, right? Like, if you were looking at Nashville, the only defenseman, I'm excluding Roman Josi because I don't see they're moving him, plus the cap hit, everything else. But, Nick Perbix would be the guy. that you would look at of Nashville if they were considering moving him, right? Great cap hit, younger guys coming into his own. I'd be all over him. But, Blankenberg, I've seen people talk about him and they, puck moving guy. Well, I think he can play on teams and he can help teams. You can have a long NHL career. I don't think you'll see him on a team that's having a deep playoff run going for the cup. Like, size matters on the back end of the playoffs. It just does. Unless you're like Quinn Hughes elite, size matters. Right? We've seen it year in and year out. Look at how big the blue lines are. It's just it's how it goes. So I don't see him at all. So take a quick break. When we come back, we will talk. Aaron Portzline will join us. One other thing. I'm curious from all of our audience. I got Invisalign because my bottom teeth were starting to bug me a little bit. So got Invisalign. No big deal. Luckily, they were worried that, maybe you'd have a lisp. Thankfully, I don't have one. But, like, it almost feels better with it on than when it's off. And all those numbers just feels like you got grain on your teeth. Like, do you get used to that, or is that just part of it? I guess maybe they do that because then you're supposed to wear it as long as you can. So that'll be easier. And the other thing is, I read up on it, is some people seem to lose weight on this because you can't snack as much. Like, unless you're going to, because you got to take out your Invisalign every time to eat. So obviously you do it for big meals, but I wonder if this will limit my snacking. Maybe not a bad thing, Cons. You ever had Invisalign?
No. I'm glad the speech isn't impacted too much, though. Didn't Struddy have a little bit of a lisp when he took that route?
But that had to do with his teeth.
Yeah.
So that was more of a natural thing. And then didn't they lengthen his teeth? I think that's what happened. God, it was fun. We'll have to ask him about that today. Oh, that was a classic. That's a good memory, Cons. I kind of forgot about it all. Struddy and his lisp. Oh, hilarious. Hilarious stuff. We'll take a quick break. Port, you will join us next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpots Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Free trips, free iPads, a barbecue, a wood stove, the #1 dealer in the world. What? Who cares? How about no pressure, a great deal, finance rates as low as 0%, trade values you can be happy with, and an indoor showroom. And we're pretty good people. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
Hello. You're never going to believe this. Booster Juice called your name today. You can get a free smoothie or acai bowl.
No way. Heading there now.
Oh my gosh, you and my brother had the same name. Okay, I'm calling him next. I'm hanging up.
Booster Juice Names of the Day is back. 2 names are selected each day, and if your name matches, you can get a free smoothie or an acai bowl. Watch for your name on the Booster Rewards app and social media. Must be an app member to qualify. Booster Juice. Canadian born, blending since 1999.
Whether you're at home, in the car, or on the move, you're never more than a tap away from Sports 1440. Download the radio player or iHeart app today so you can get all access anytime to Edmonton's only sports radio station, Sports 1440.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul. Edmonton Trailer.
There's a lot of great seasons in Alberta. Hockey season, harvest season, the winter season, and the even more winter season. But GS Construction is already preparing for our next great season because while the city slows down, we plan ahead. Projects, people, and pipelines. Everything starts taking shape for another strong year underground. We're also getting ready for our next hiring season in March. We want new people who want to build something that lasts. For more on us and to apply, visit gsconstruction.ca.
Considering an EV, Subaru is the right choice. Discover their latest electric vehicle innovations, starting with the brand new Solterra, in stock and ready to test drive. Or the Trail Seeker, an EV at its core, a Subaru at heart, and built for adventure. Or the Uncharted This Sporty, all-new small compact SUV brings new levels of driving enjoyment to the all-electric space. Right now, Subaru is offering interest rates as low as 0.49%. Welcome to electric. Welcome to Subaru.
Are you overwhelmed by debt and getting nonstop calls from creditors? It can feel like there's no escape. Debt doesn't have to be a life sentence. A single call can turn things around. My name is Parveen Middleton. I'm a licensed insolvency trustee at BDO right here in Edmonton. I can help you become debt-free with a solution just for you. Let's put an end to those calls from creditors together. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to discover your debt-free future.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique family-owned independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Clytus, I'm bored. What plaything can you offer me today?
An obscure body in the SK system, Your Majesty. The inhabitants refer to it as the planet Earth.
I'll be.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. The Oilers finally back in action, and O'Terra is ready to be your hockey headquarters. $5.75 Molson Canadian, 69-cent wings. You can play, score, and win every game. See more at OnTheRocksYEG.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
We roll through Tuesday afternoon on the eve of the return of NHL hockey. And oh, baby, once you come back in, it's going to be a race to the trade deadline and a race for many teams to a playoff spot. There's lots of playoff spots that are very much up for grabs, lots of seeding positions that were up for grabs. If we went through the league, like, okay, I think we can say Colorado, the Wild, Stars, those three teams, they're pretty safe. I would throw in Tampa Bay and Carolina, pretty darn safe. Then there's some other teams that I would say fairly confident when you look at, but not overly confident just because of the amount of teams right behind them. I'd probably put Vegas there. Game in hand, 5-point bulge on to 8 points up on ninth place. Like that's a pretty good position to be in. I look at Montreal and Detroit, and they are 7 points up on Columbus, but the Blue Jackets are rolling. And Montreal and Detroit, both of them have a fairly tough sked. So the sked for a lot of these Eastern teams is definitely something to look for and watch, and should be a lot of fun. Now let's talk about one of those teams, the hottest team in the National Hockey League, as we will go around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's, where stop in at McD's today. $5 McValue meals are here. You can get the sausage McMuffin meal. You can get the McDouble meal for only $5 plus tax for a limited time, only at McDonald's. As Aaron Portzline from The Athletic and the NHL Network joins us, so we're talking a little Columbus Blue Jackets. And Porty, the Blue Jackets were probably one of those teams like, we don't want to break let's just keep playing. They'd won 7 in a row. They've won 9 of their last 10 games. And they put themselves now within 4 points of a playoff spot with games in hand on the Islanders, 1 game in hand on the Bruins, and their first 2 games out of the break, the Bruins and the Islanders. The schedule maker, his crystal ball or her crystal ball was pretty on point earlier this year.
Yeah, right. I mean, do you even remember back to before the break? That feels like a year ago now. It's crazy, the gap. Yeah, I mean, they're right at it, and they've got more games than anybody else in March. 17 in a 30-day stretch in March. They only once have 2 days without a game back-to-back. Otherwise, they're every other game or back-to-backs throughout March. So they better be ready. They got to get Werenski back in the fold. He played 12 minutes in the gold medal game before assisting on the Jack Hughes winner. He hasn't played 12 minutes here, I don't think, ever. He's usually twice that much, and they're going to be riding him and others. But like other teams did, they spent the break getting healthy. Marchenko was ready to go. He'd been slowed for about 6 weeks with the lower body / foot, call it foot. Monahan's been battling through a lot of stuff, as he always seems to be, but he's looking crisp. So, yeah, they've worked their behinds off 11 out of 12, including 7 in a row, all in regulation, to get back into this thing when it picks back up again. And now here they are hoping to keep the Magic still alive when the puck drops on Thursday in Boston.
So you look at that 11 out of 12 run, and it's a great run. What was going right? Who was leading the charge?
Well, I think that's the best part of it. There were several guys. Werenski, of course. Charlie Coyle, the third-line center, who really is kind of a plus third-line guy, plays a lot of different roles for them, takes late, period draws, all that stuff. He's a jack of all trades. He was getting Mason Marchment, who came over in a trade with Seattle, really started to pop. And their goaltending got really good. Jack Reeves has been good all year. Elvis Merzlikins, who had lost the number 1 job to Greaves and had lost his way for much of the season under Dean Evison, he sort of joined back in here when Bowness took over. And that is huge because, every team's looking at their schedule the rest of the way and wondering not just when they're going to practice, but when they're going to sleep, when they're going to catch up. You have to have 2 goalies. I think the teams that have 2 goalies going are going to be at a huge advantage here the rest of the way because you simply can't handle this workload that's coming with just 1. So it's been all of that. And I think it's their attention to detail, especially defensively. And that's what Rick Bowness preached from the moment he got here is that's what has to sharpen up. And what he saw is kind of interesting. I think he came in here expecting to make lots of changes, had no time to make them. So he planned for this little mini camp right here to be where he could really change some things. But the way that they played and what they showed him, again, especially defensively, he came into this break saying, I'm not dumb enough to try to fix something that isn't broken. So he's just worried mostly about getting their legs and their lungs ready to go and hoping that their minds follow and that they're crisp and ready to go.
Aaron Portzline joins us. So you look at the trade deadline is 10 days away. And because they play Boston, the Islanders, I'm sure like a lot of teams are going to wait through the weekend, maybe till next Monday and Tuesday and see, okay, where are we at? And because the Blue Jackets, this could be great. But if you lose those 2 games, Sporty, the 2 teams you're chasing, suddenly by next Tuesday or Wednesday, you might be 6 points out. And maybe Don Waddell's like, I don't know if I'm going to swing big. Or do you think he's making a move regardless?
So I don't know that he makes a move. I think the biggest concern here is what he does with his UFAs. And 3 of them are prominent forward UFAs: Charlie Coyle, Mason Marchment, Boone Jenner. Those guys, those are some heart and soul guys in the middle of this lineup for the Blue Jackets. As it stands right now, he will, my understanding, my belief is that he's going to carry them all through the trade deadline, even without contracts.
Okay.
That could change, Jason, as you mentioned. If they stumble in these first 2 games, if they go 1-4 and 0-5, and you know how fast you can slide right back down the standings. If they end up right now 4 behind in the wild card and the Metro. They go 0-5 or even 1-4, and they end up 9 or 10 behind in the Metro or the wild card. I think you start listening to offers that right now you're not willing to listen to. Charlie Coyle would bring a very, very large return to them, very large. I think Marchman would bring him a decent package as well. Boone Jenner is a player that I think every knowledgeable hockey fan and most GMs look at him and say, God, that is a guy I'd love to have on the team come playoff time. They get trade inquiries about him every year when they're not in the mix, and it's been 5 years since they've been in the mix. Maybe this is the year that they would listen. But I think, again, it's only if they stumble out of the gate and really have a hard time getting going.
Aaron Portsline joins us along with his good friend. Porty, the Blue Jackets had a slow start, and people are like, oh, geez, here we go again. But kind of like Buffalo, because we were expecting Buffalo and Columbus to take a step. The Blue Jackets had lots of positive things going last year, and now we're starting to see it. And the big question is going to be, is it sustainable? Like, I think Werenski, I would have him actually right now slightly ahead in the Norris race. I think he's been that impactful. All the minutes he plays, all the situations he plays. But now he was at the Olympics, and obviously they're out at the White House today. He's one of the guys that went. Any concern about him being fatigued or just like emotionally drained is their main guy? Like, he can't afford to be emotionally drained, it's just hard to say, but that's just the truth for Columbus.
That's correct. He is not allowed to be tired. That is a fact. For me, it's going to be mental, right?
Yeah.
He averaged 16 minutes 20 seconds in these Olympics. If you remember the big load he carried in the Four Nations, it was not that during the Olympics. Quinn Hughes came into the mix. He wasn't in the Four Nations. He was in the Olympics. So that took a lot of the minutes off of Werenski's plate. He probably would have liked to have played more, especially in the gold medal game. Only 12 minutes. That's like a period for him, a third period for him in Columbus when the team is down. So I don't think his legs and lungs are going to be in bad shape. For me, it's going to be a mental thing. And I do think that is a really hard thing for guys to go through that experience they just did.
Yeah.
They're still going through it, right? The trip to the White House, the party in Miami last night. Like, it's hard. It's hard to put that down. You've got a gold medal around your neck, first time for this country in 46 years. It's moving on and coming back to this team. I think he'll be happy to be here, and I think he's looking for the stretch run. But I don't know that that's a super easy adjustment. So see what he looks like Thursday. He'll probably. He's going to be playing against McAvoy on Thursday. He goes in the span of 4 days from chugging beers and putting his arm around a guy to now they're opponents again on Thursday, which is the weirdness of all this. Almost every team is facing it, right? Edmonton's facing him with McDavid. Look at Pittsburgh. They come out of this with some scary injury news with Crosby. Where's he at? It could be a lot worse. I do think it'll take a couple games for Werenski to get dialed back in here. But you're right. He absolutely should be on everyone's Norris ballot. Finished second last year. He's already got 20 goals this year.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he's the guy that they lean on really heavily.
Which players do you look and say the break came at a right time that maybe they can get a reset?
You know what I would say? I think there's a couple guys. I would say Monahan for sure, not so much because of stats, but those aren't where they were last year. But health-wise, he was battling through an upper body, I believe a wrist, a lower body, I believe a knee, for much of the season. He took some games off. He sat out some practices. I think these 3 weeks will be a really important stretch for him. Same with Marchenko, although he kept producing. The other guy I think is probably Fantilli, who's not had the numbers this year that he expected.
Okay.
And I spoke to him today, and he was great. He said he doesn't give a hoot about the numbers. I kind of believe that. But the big word for him the rest of the way is selflessness. And everybody, it doesn't matter if you need a contract, doesn't matter if you're not happy with your playing time or your points, your production. Everybody's got to commit, and it's everything is here for the team. Got to make the playoffs, and I think that's the sense that sort of pervades the room right now.
Aaron, quickly, you look at that division and Pittsburgh, once we find out about the health of Crosby, that could be everything for the Penguins. That could easily, and if you're a Columbus, the announcement comes out, Crosby will be out a week or 2 weeks. That literally could be the difference in Pittsburgh making the playoffs or not. So it's not only how it impacts them. The teams chased them are like, okay, now we really got to take advantage of this.
Yeah. And what an interesting trade today for Pittsburgh with Kulak.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one I didn't. I got to look further into that one. But you're right. I mean, what's that?
I wonder if that trade was a little foreshadowing that Crosby's injuries may be worse than we think, because Kulak is for a team that was now, because I don't think they lack in skill. Girard's a better offensive player than Kulak, but Kulak's a way better defender. And I love that trade for Colorado. I don't mind it for Pittsburgh. You get a second rounder, sure. But when I saw that, I was like, do they know that they would know most likely what Crosby's status is? Because that one kind of read to me that's a little bit of a step back, isn't it?
That's what I wondered about it as well. I think they are a possibility. Now, I was one of the few. I don't know if it was on your show or not, but before the season, I just didn't buy this talk about Pittsburgh being a lottery team and being in the mix for Gavin McKenna. That just seemed ridiculous to me. Any team with Malkin, Crosby, those guys, come on. That, I'm not sure they're a cup contender. I'm sure they're not, actually. But they're not a lottery team. That's a competitive team with those guys. What happens if he's not there, even as you said, for 2 weeks? I think the Jackets can catch the Islanders. They can. The other thing, though, I'm worried about is you look down and there's the Washington Capitals, right? And if it were any other team that had 61 points right now with the cutoff bar being 69 points, that's 8 points, I'd say they're out of it. I would say they're out of it. I look at that Florida Panthers team and I go, boy, I don't want to say anything about them. I don't want to say anything about them because right now they are, 14th in the East. But I don't put it past them at all to go on a massive run here the rest of the way. Just to see how much room they can pick up. The Leafs have figured it out a little bit here for a while, so we'll see. I think if you're Columbus, you're still looking ahead, but you probably should keep an eye on the people right below you too, because the Capitals should scare you because they've a President's Trophy team of a year ago, and I don't think they're going to go down without much of a fight. So it should be a wild finish.
Party, great stuff, buddy. We'll probably be talking to you next week because I'm very curious to see. Columbus is one of those teams they're similar to Buffalo to me. They're a team from afar that I really root for. I hope that they get in for their fans because it's kind of been a little bit dry and not as bad as Columbus is in Buffalo, but you know what I mean. There's organizations that are looking for some success in the postseason for sure.
Yeah, they're organizations without a common enemy. That's what they've become, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. When no one dislikes you, it's because you haven't had any success. That's just the truth.
And there's the three-toed sloths of the NHL, right?
Yeah. You almost don't want to be there, so we'll see.
Exactly. Well, thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
You betcha. That is
good to be with you.
Awesome. That's Aaron Portsline joining us from Columbus. And man, the Blue Jackets are a team to watch. And like I said earlier, here's some of the games, schedule maker, that matter to teams that are, in a playoff race or just for playoff positioning. So Columbus plays Boston, New York, the two teams are chasing. Florida plays Toronto, Buffalo, and the Islanders. So if Florida and Toronto, they can't both make it, right? If somebody loses that game in regulation, that might be the difference of their GM being a seller. Ottawa plays Detroit and Toronto. And for Ottawa, you got to win those games or you're probably a seller. Toronto plays Tampa, Florida, and Ottawa. Edmonton plays Anaheim, LA, and San Jose. So for the Oilers, it's an opportunity to really separate yourself. Or you lose some of those games, and man, you put yourself deep in the mix for a battle. LA has Vegas and Edmonton. You got to win those games if you're the LA Kings. So this is going to be awesome. And a few, obviously Edmonton and LA are both playing back-to-back nights, and as is Toronto and a few other teams here. So There'll be no rest for the weary, man. I know NHL fans, you've had a few weeks off, but now it's just going to be suddenly going from calm, and now you're just being like highlight after highlight. Well, where can I watch the game? Jeez, it's not 8 a.m. Yes, it'll be 8 at night. So a little bit different. So get yourself acclimatized to it. And also the stretch run in the WHL. We'll talk about that. And oh, hey, did you notice? What did we say, Connor, 2 months ago on the show? When everyone's like, oh, Gavin McKenna this. And I'm like, yeah, the guy's adjusting to the league. Now, have you seen what Gavin McKenna's done lately? And all of a sudden, everyone's, oh, Gavin McKenna's the number 1 overall pick. Like, people just like to make stories up. And I don't know. I just think it's kind of embarrassing. Anywho, we'll take a break. We'll return to the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
60 years ago, we started selling trucks as Western GMC Buick. Today, we are Wolf GMC Buick. We're still located on the corner of 184th Street and Stony Plain Road with the same ownership for over 2 decades. Our customers have trusted our family-owned, community-driven business. And for that, we are thankful. If you're looking for a truck or SUV, pop in and one of our seasoned professionals will get you a great deal, hassle-free. Come trust our team at Wolf GMC Buick. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
Day or night, tasting just the right. You can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. Bring you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle noodle.
Okay, how about you give us your star winger for a bag of pucks? What if I throw in some Will Hawk beef jerky?
Yourself a trade. With Wilhock Beef Jerky on their side, the Alberta teams definitely have an unfair advantage this trade deadline. Pick up some today and use it for trade leverage in your fantasy league.
No way, man. It's way too good.
Wilhock Beef Jerky, only available in Leduc. Get yours today because you don't win trades with salad.
Hi, I'm Colin Livingston, president of CanTorque. We've been tightening bolts and redefining our industry for 25 years. Yes, a quarter century, and we're just getting started. Check us out at CanTorque.com. Our tools age better than I do.
Shoulder pain. It can make even the simplest things like reaching up, lifting a bag, brushing your teeth, or sleeping frustrating. Rotator cuff strains, impingement, arthritis, they're some of the most common issues we treat every day. I'm Grant Fedoruk, and at Leading Edge Physio, our team brings postgraduate training, evidence-based technology, and just the right amount of humor and humility to help you feel better. Because we never forget the most important part, the gratitude we feel for every patient who allows us the opportunity to care for them. Because life shouldn't hurt. When it does, leadingedgephysio.com.
Performance by Action Electrical today. Their projects team kicks things off, designing and building with unmatched skill.
Then the service team swoops in for those crucial repairs and maintenance. And don't forget the testing team, ensuring everything's safe and sound before the solar team scores with sustainable energy.
A complete team effort. Have Action Electrical bring home a win for you and your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Value meals are here. Get the McD's you love for $5 plus tax every day with your choice of a McDouble, Junior Chicken, or Chicken Snack Wrap with small fries and small fountain drink. All for just $5 plus taxes. Canadian restaurants. Product availability varies. Prices exclude delivery.
Silent Rides is one of Alberta's premier specialty charter companies. With our luxury motor coaches, we provide our customers with the safest and most reliable ground transportation services. Our seatbelt equipped, top-of-the-line motor coaches have become the preferred carrier for many local sports teams, tours, corporate outings, and other various travel needs across Western Canada. For more information and to request a quote, contact sales at 877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by CanTorque, made in Canada, made for Canada, where extreme isn't theoretical. Find your solution at CanTorque.com.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Declan Kruger with you on Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you are having a lovely, lovely Tuesday as we continue on. NHL returns tomorrow. The WHL is in the stretch drive, getting set for the playoffs. And tonight in Edmonton, a huge tilt as you have the Oil Kings, who, if they want to catch Medicine Hat in the standings, got to get a win. Like those teams have been battling all year long, and the Oil Kings go 5-5 in a 10-game stretch, and suddenly lose 4 or 5 points in the standings. So that's how tight it is. You really can't have any time off in the Eastern Conference at the top with the Raiders and the Tigers and the Oil Kings. And hey, don't count out the Calgary Hitmen, who have closed ground a little bit on the Oil Kings as well. So Medicine Hat in Edmonton right now. You know what? If they each won their first round, then they'd be meeting in the second round. So home ice advantage is definitely something on the line tonight as we get to our WHL report, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Only no payments, no interest for 1 year on your furnace. Stay warm all winter. LegacyHeating.ca. Voice of the Oil Kings, Matt Barrett, joins us once again. And Matt, man, it's quick. It's amazing how things change so quickly in the WHL standings. It's not like the Oil Kings have played bad by any stretch, but you go 5-5, and suddenly you're in significant chase mode now behind the Tigers. The Oil Kings are going to have to go on a pretty big run to catch them.
Yeah, I guess the parity in the league maybe is a way to put it. Is it's a grind, right? This league in this Eastern Conference more specifically is a battle. Anybody can beat anybody on any given night, so you got to be sharp no matter what for a full 60 minutes. And some nights, especially through January, the dog days of January, February, it can be hard. But now's the time to lock in down the final dozen games.
Any update on health for the Oil Kings and getting guys back?
Well, getting better. Slowly but surely, the health is getting better. Still a couple guys out, but that's the beast, I guess, if you will. And Aaron Obabifa returned after missing a few games. He returned on the weekend, so that was good to see. So we'll see what happens here in the next little while. But slowly but surely, there's guys slowly coming back. So it's good to see.
Who's still out?
Well, Luke Powell's been out since early in the season. Max Curran's month to month. Cage Smith has been out for a bit as well. He's still a little bit away. So that's pretty well the injury report for now. And I remember a couple weeks back, it was much longer than that. So I'll call that a positive right now.
So do you think Smith is he supposed to be ready by the playoffs?
For sure. Yeah, it sounds like it. We'll see. It's week to week right now. So that would indicate to me that he should be good to go for the end of March.
What about the D pairings? Have they gotten kind of into a regular pairing, 3 pairs that you've seen on a night-to-night basis?
It depends. They'll go through stretches where it's a lot of the same D pairs. Then they make a little shuffle depending on maybe a guy gets hurt, gets nicked up for a couple games. So you have to change things up a little bit. We've seen a lot of Ethan McKenzie and Blake Fiddler together, and then Austin Zemlak and Carter Sutherland together, which seemed to work really well. And then Noah Tamu and Josh Lee. So that was nice. On Saturday, then they kind of shuffled it again a little bit just to maybe find a little bit of a spark. So we'll see tonight when the lineup comes in, whether they maybe go back to the well of what was working before. But I really liked what they were going with there with the 2 20-year-olds together, having McKenzie and Fiddler together. I like that. And the nice thing they have is they've got 6 really good defensemen that can kind of play in a bunch of different situations. So they can kind of mix and match when they want to, which is good for a team when you can kind of move things around.
And I know due to injury that Jason Smith had to try lots of different forward combinations. I would love to know exactly how many he had there during that run, because it seemed like every game there was 2 or 3 different ones, because there's one guy would come in and then another guy would go out. But now that, for the most part, they're healthier, obviously excluding Smith that we talked about. Are there some combinations you think the coach would like to stick with barring injury for a while?
Yeah, we've seen the Holinka, Sauch, and Hodnett line get put back together for Saturday night's game, and they produced pretty well that night for in a game that kind of got away from them in the third period. But they were a line that really worked well together. Aaron Obabifa has moved to center. He's played a little bit with Landon Hansen and Jackson Feuder at times, which has looked really good. bit of an energy line there. Andrew O'Neill is a guy who can play with almost anybody. He was playing with Caden Strader a little bit. And then, Dylan Dean was moved to center for a little bit as well. So they've got some flexibility and a lot of guys who can play center. And especially with a guy like Max Curran out of the lineup, you need some guys to be good in the center ice position. So there's been some shuffling there, and we'll see what happens. But the top line of Holinka, Sauchin, and Hodden, it's been like the big one, and they went on a torrid stretch right after Christmas for about a good month. And maybe they find a little bit of a spark again. That would be, that'd be ideal, I think, for this staff to have that line going, and then you can kind of trickle down effect the rest of the way.
If you look at a guy like Adam, Dzeko, how is he playing? Like, I know he's got a lot of assists lately. Would they like more goals from him? Where's his game at?
Yeah, I think, when he was hurt kind of going into the World Juniors and then coming back, it takes a bit to kind of get back into the swing of things. And he's a player that obviously he's huge. He's 6'3", 200 pounds or so. So he's a guy that can use his body a lot. He's been a little snake bitten at times, has had some looks, but just, the puck just isn't going in at times. He can still create really well for his teammates and his line mates. So I think it's a matter of maybe just finding a spark there. And if he gets, a game where he can get 1-1, maybe the dam opens a little bit, or 2 goals in a game, maybe the dam opens a little bit. He could really be an X factor down the stretch, I think, for this group.
Well, yeah, they'll need him, right? Like that, that could be like a trade deadline acquisition, honestly, for them. Yeah. I don't think he's played up to his, and then he was out for almost 2 months. And, he comes back in. That would be huge, because that's a guy who, without question, should be a top 6 forward in the WHL, and probably can make an argument that he's a top line player.
For sure. And he's an elite player. There's a reason the St. Louis Blues made him a 3rd round pick, right? And he's a guy that has had some, massive stretches in the past of being a legit scorer and a legit power play guy. And, when you get hurt and get injured, some guys need to come in, and then you got to kind of shuffle things around again. So he's a guy that can really be a difference maker. And if he gets hot down the stretch, watch out, because then the Oil Kings become even more deep than they are now.
Well, I know we asked you about Kate Smith, but Max Curran, like, that guy was on fire before he got injured. I think he had 15 points in his last 7 games, leading up to his injury. And he's been out just, I think, like 6 weeks now. Is he someone that they think could return for the playoffs, or is that still up in the air?
I think that's still up in the air right now. It's hard to say. So, when you lose a guy like that for a little while, your center ice position becomes a whole lot different. So it's obviously a huge hit for him to not be out, especially right now when you want to get some wins to chase the Tigers.
Yeah, well, that's going to be the key. And what about the Tigers? They coming in healthy tonight?
Well, they'll be missing a couple guys. It looks like they've been dealing with some injuries kind of in and out for the last month or so. They were missing Bryce Pickford for a little while there. He seems to be back now. So we'll see what they bring into Rogers Place tonight. They've been known to, if they need to, move a couple forwards to D and vice versa if they need to. So we'll see, but it could be a couple injured groups tonight, but we'll find out. They seem to be getting healthier. They were really, really, really injured there back in January, but they seem to be getting slightly healthier as well.
Well, if Pickford's back in the lineup, man, 34 goals in 44 games as a defenseman. It's unreal. Like, he was having just a ridiculous season, like a record-breaking season, honestly. Yeah. Like, the guy could have scored 50 goals as a D-man, for goodness sakes. So he is definitely someone that you have to counter if you're the Edmonton Oil Kings and really watch him, because it's rare to have a goal-scoring threat from the back end, and that's what he is.
Yeah, he can be a driver for sure, and a threat whenever he's got the puck. So you always have to keep an eye on where he is and play him hard and make sure you make life difficult for him. Because otherwise, if you let him wheel around the offensive zone too much, he's going to bite you.
Matt, appreciate this, man. Have a great call. Enjoy the game tonight.
Thanks, Jason.
There you go. That's Matt Barrett, voice of the Oil Kings. They're taking on the Medicine Hat Tigers. And, man, if the Oil Kings, if Max Curran, I don't think people understand what a huge loss that is for that team. That could take you from being a team that wins the WHL to maybe losing the second round. He's that good of a player. And the fact that, they still don't know if he's going to be ready for the playoffs, that's just brutal. Brutal for him, brutal for the team. That sucks. That is a key player for the Edmonton Oil Kings. It sucks big time. So 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey, guys, I think people need to remember that Dwayne Rolson's first 10 game with the Oilers wasn't very good. I think he had an .891 save percentage. Went like 4-2 or 4-6 in his first 10 starts. Be patient with Jari. I think it could be better. From Jay. Well, Jay, the Oilers got to hope you're right, and Jari's got to hope you're right. Now, he had a 3-week break, right? So maybe that you can just exhale, come back, and be the goalie that they hoped he could be. Now, Oilers defense has got to play better too. But Jari's, there's some saves there that I think he'd be the first one to admit, especially on a few of the penalty kills, that he's like, God, I got to stop that puck. So it can change things a lot. He doesn't need to be Connor Hellebuyck gold medal game, although that'd be nice every now and then, but he doesn't need to be that good. He just needs to be better than he has been since being acquired. That's not a hot take. That's just a simple truth. And I think he's capable of playing better than he has performed thus far. So we will see how he does. Let's get to the con man and a sports 1440 update brought to you by Loca Quality Gourmet Meals. Dinner got a whole lot easier and tastier. You can go in-store in Sherwood Park or on the West End, or even easier, go to meals.loca.ca. There's over 200 chef-prepared meals. Look them up. They'll even deliver it right to your door. Meals.loca.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
The Colorado Avalanche have acquired defenseman Brett Kulak from the Pittsburgh Penguins in exchange for defenseman Samuel Girard and a 2028 second-round pick. Kulak has 1 goal, 8 helpers, 9 points in 56 games this season between the Penguins and the Oilers. And Dallas Stars forward Mikko Rantanen will miss at least the next 2 weeks, possibly longer, due to an injury he suffered playing for Finland at the Winter Games. The 29-year-old winger did not play in the bronze medal match against Slovakia. In the WHL, the Oil Kings hosting Medicine Hat down at Rogers Place. Puck drop at 7 in the AJ2 games with Whitecourt and Drayton Valley. While Calgary will host the Kodiaks in the association. To be a fun one in Toronto. Raptors and Thunder getting going at 5:30. You've also got the Mavs and the Nets. Bulls host the Hornets. Heat in Milwaukee. Pelicans taking on the Warriors, and the Magic taking on the Lakers. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Dave McCarthy from Sirius XM NHL. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Excavators, loaders, lifts, compaction equipment, and more. Find the XCMG construction equipment you need. Available for rental or sale at Japa Machinery Group. Japa, helping build Alberta from the ground up for 50 years. Visit japamachinery.com.
Day or night, tasting just so right. You can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle noodle.
Action Electrical's projects team takes the field, folks, ready to execute the entire play for new commercial builds.
Absolutely. They're masters of design, build, sketching strategy, from initial blueprints to core electrical infrastructure. The team never misses on complex projects.
Known for handling big league constructions and major renovations, ensuring flawless execution, hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Looking for the perfect gift? Give the gift of great taste with a Loca Quality Market gift card. Redeemable at any Loca Quality Market or Loca operated restaurant. It's a treat for food lovers. Ready anytime. Grab yours today at loca.ca.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Free trips, free iPads, a barbecue, a wood stove, the #1 dealer in the world. What? Who cares? How about no pressure, a great deal, finance rates as low as 0%, great values you can be happy with, and an indoor showroom. And we're pretty good people. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Do you listen to sports radio at work?
Like right now? Well, do you?
Who, me? No way. I swear.
Okay, friend, we won't tell. Tens of thousands of sports fans listen to Sports 1440 each and every day. On the radio, on the listening apps, on YouTube, and on social media. If you listen to Sports 1440 at work, well, maybe it's time to advertise on Sports 1440 at work. Grow your business, get your name out there. Shoot our ad team an email, Gregor at sports1440.ca. Let's get to work for you.
Are you overwhelmed by debt and getting nonstop calls from creditors? It can feel like there's no escape. Debt doesn't have to be a life sentence. A single call can turn things around. My name is Parveen Middleton. I'm a licensed insolvency trustee at BDO right here in Edmonton. I can help you become debt-free with a solution just for you. Let's put an end to those calls from creditors together. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to discover your debt-free future.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Culligan. For all your residential water needs, your local water treatment company, more than just big bottles, Culligan.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Just after 3 o'clock on a wonderful Tuesday afternoon. Are you getting set? You ready? What's your expectation, Oiler fans? You nervous? Pretty confident? What do you think happens here in the final 24 games? And how many trades do you think Stan Bowman makes between today and next Friday? Number one priority, they need a right shot defenseman. Second pair. Not a third pair. They got a third pair. They need a second pair right defenseman. And I think you got it. Like, I don't care. Whatever you have to do, you got to make it happen. Needs to make that acquisition. So we'll see. We'll see what goes there. Also, I'm kind of curious. Oiler fans a little nervous. Do you think the break helps them? Does the return of Paul Coffey have the effect that they are hoping? What do you think? 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. This is the Jason Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Casino, sports, lottery, instance, liability. They got it all in one shop. PlayAlberta.ca. And while you're there, you can check out the Jason Gregor Show. We give some odds boosts on different games. Of course, even a preview for the Oilers and the Quackers. So you can check that one out at PlayAlberta.ca. Let's get to the Oil Report. Brought to you by Go Auto. They have over 15,000 cars to choose from. But then that's one thing they do. But more important, what they do is how much they give back to local charities. They have donated over $25 million to local charities, and they take pride in supporting the communities that they live and work in. That is goauto.ca. Mr. Chris Knobloch talking today. And first of all, just, the urgency that he's going to need from his team down the stretch, and maybe how the break will allow that to come to the forefront more.
Absolutely. Just as Leon said, we've only got 24 games left, and we are right on the line of making or not making playoffs, and especially this road trip. There's not a stretch of games that are probably more important than they are right now. Playing the California teams, so Anaheim being one of them. I believe they're healthy and they'll be ready to play, and it'll be an important game for us tomorrow.
Yeah, it is an important game, man. Make no mistake. The Quacks now, Cons. I don't know if you've looked. We'll have to find out from Eric Stevens or not if the Ducks are going to have some of their guys back in to the into the lineup, because that will be that's going to be a key. You look at Erik Karlsson and some others to see who's in and maybe who's out, because that will be hey, if you don't have Karlsson, then I'm sorry, you're the Edmonton Oilers. You got to take advantage of that. Now, speaking of big time players, what's the parameters on McDavid playing, and do they have a sense of maybe how much he plays?
We had some discussions in January about the possibility of what happens when the tournament ends, when he fly back, how he feels about coming back and playing immediately. I think a lot of it has to do with how he's feeling, injury-wise, health-wise, energy-wise, probably the biggest factor, and having that decision. So he's still traveling, so that obviously there's a lot up in the air still, and nothing's been ruled out.
Yeah. I would, there's a chance he doesn't play. They only have 12 healthy forwards. Now, they can easily call up Regula too, right? Like, they're going to recall Matt Savoy tomorrow. They're going to activate Adam Henrique from LTIR after the morning skate. And the reason why, because we've had people ask that, why wouldn't they just announce it now? Because maybe have some freak weird accident and he gets injured and he's out a week or 2 weeks. If you take him off LTIR yesterday or today and something happens tomorrow before the game, well, now he's off LTIR. Now he's on IR, and that counts on your cap. So you do it specifically just to save yourself. Less chance of basically screwing yourself over of cap space. Because right now he's in LTIR. I mean, you take him off of LTIR, unless he has an injury that will require him to go right back on it. Like, what if he's just out a week? Now you're in a little bit of trouble. So you would, now if it happens in a game, it happens in a game. You'll live with it, but you don't want to increase the odds afterwards. Is it difficult for Knobloch to envision his captain sitting in the press box tomorrow night?
Yeah, I know Connor is a very competitive guy, and for him to come, but also probably different if it was just a single. But with the fact that we're coming in and playing back to back, and all the travel and the emotions of the Olympics, so we'll make that decision tomorrow.
There you go. What about Trent Frederick? This has got to be looked at as a reset for him. I hope that's how he looks at it. There's no other way to look at it. You can't worry about what happened back in January, December, October. It's gone now. You can't change it. It hasn't gone the way he wanted. But what can Frederick do? What can the coach do? And how can Knobloch help Frederick getting on a roll or getting in a role that'll help him be more productive?
You see a lot of the time after breaks, or just this is almost like a new season, and you see players who've had terrible regular seasons and then playoffs. Everyone starts playoffs and everyone's got zeros, and they just find a different gear and they play really well. So treating this as a starting point for him. He's looked really good in practices, and I believe that he'll be a big part of our success down this stretch.
And what about Mangiapane? How can a coach try to help him find some footing? And I don't know if it's too little, too late.
It absolutely is a team effort, but often when you give a guy an opportunity, you're also taking an opportunity or something that somebody's worked for, and you're taking away from them. So, when an injury happens, that's an excellent opportunity for a player to step up and get a chance. But if it's not an injury, it's tough giving them. And yes, you have to give them some opportunities for them to step up and find a game and find a opportunity to contribute to the team. But you also got to be careful not sacrificing somebody else that's been playing well or been doing all the right things.
Now, the last line is pretty noticeable. I hear sometimes, well, you just got to give him a chance. But at the expense of who? So you look at the orders, and for tomorrow, Nugent Hopkins, McDavid, Hyman, let's say. Draisaitl, Roslovic, Savoy, for instance. Then you could have Podkolzin, Frederick, Lazar. Or maybe Henrique's there. And then you have Lazar with Janmark and Mangiapane. Like, who are you looking and say, wow, we're going to take one of those guys out of the top 9 to put in Mangiapane? Like, honestly, I'm not sure I see one. Right? Especially when the reality is The Oilers are trying to trade Mangiapane. He's aware of it. He's on board with it. It hasn't worked out for him in Edmonton. And maybe it will somewhere else for him. And that's what he's got to hope. That's what the team acquiring has got to hope. But I look at it and it's pretty difficult to kind of see how that's going to go. I think honestly the Oilers play tomorrow. Like if Kapanen was healthy, I'm not sure Mangiapane would even be in the lineup, if I'm being honest. So I don't. They've got what, 4 games before the deadline? Does Mangiapane play in more than 2 of them? We'll see. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey, Gregor, can the Oilers hit 100 points to be comfortable seed in the playoffs? From Steven. Well, in order to do that, they need 36 points. So, we kind of do the math. They got, what do they got, 24 games? So you need 36 points. I assume they'll get some overtime losses. So let's say 2 there. Now you're down to 22 games. You already got to go 17, 5, and 2. Yeah, it's possible, but I would probably say a little bit unlikely that the Oilers reach the century mark now. Could they go 17, 5, and 2? Sure. Do I think they will? Unlikely. Although they do have a favorable schedule for sure. Hey, guys, what are the trade targets that are realistic for Mangiapane? Chris, Mangiapane is not – your teams aren't calling you to take – saying, hey, can we take Andrew Mangiapane? Right now, Bowman would say, yeah, what do you want? Here, just take him. Future considerations. That's where it's at for Andrew Mangiapane. So – Andrew Mangiapane is only involved in a trade where Edmonton's giving up other pieces. You get a player, and you're like, oh, and by the way, you got to take Mangiapane to make the trade work. That's what it is, right? That's what it is. So it's nothing more. It's not like, hey, Mangiapane can get you this. Mangiapane's not going to get you anybody himself. I'd be stunned. Unless the team's like, hey, we got a $3.5 million player that we don't like either. Let's just trade him. But that doesn't really help the Oilers. So Mangiapane now is going to be an addition to a trade, and the Oilers will likely have to add something for the team to take him. That's how I view it. I don't think there's any other way to view it. Hey, boys, are you saying the Oilers have to go 16-8 to make the playoffs? Well, that would give them what? 96 points? I don't think it has to be that high, because keep in mind, look at the teams that are chasing them. Right? So the LA Kings are currently in 9th place. So to make the playoffs, the LA Kings currently have 60 points in 56 games. So they have 26 games left. And for them to get to 95 points, right, they need 35 points in 26 games. So they got to go 17-8-1. Right? Edmonton goes Edmonton's 16-8, they're 17-8-1, and Edmonton's still at 96 points. So you always have to look at it. What's a realistic number for the Oilers? But what's a realistic number for the teams that are chasing them? So yeah, if the Kings play that well and go 16-8-1 in their games, actually, 16-8-2, my apologies, that would give them to 96 points. 16-8-2. The Oilers go 16-8. Then the Oilers actually, funny enough, they make the playoffs ahead of them. So, yeah, the Kings got to play really well. So it's hard to say what the Oilers have to do. The Oilers just got to take care of themselves. I think in an ideal world, they win at least 15 of their final 24 games. That's what I think they need to do. And when you look at their schedule, I don't think it's crazy to think that. But honestly, this week coming back could tell you a lot about Edmonton, right? A lot of us think Edmonton at times is underachieved. So you play the Ducks, a team below them by 1 point in the standings. Younger team, no playoff experience. They're trying to get in. You could smack them around. That's good. Then you got the LA Kings. No Fiala, but they got Panarin. They're also playing second half of a back-to-back because the Kings take on Vegas tomorrow, and then the Oilers and the Kings play on Thursday. So fatigue, rest will be the same for both teams. And that's a massive game. And if you're the Oilers, I'm assuming that Kemper's going to play on Wednesday, so you'll get the backup in Forsberg. Slight advantage, right? You're going to play your own backup in Ingram. So then the Oilers got the Sharks. And those are divisional games. They're massive. Then the next week, it's a pretty light sked. They only play 2 games in 7 days, right? They have Sunday, Monday off. They play Tuesday against the Senators. They have Wednesday, Thursday off. Then on trade deadline night, they played the Carolina Hurricanes, who the Oilers, for whatever reason, in Edmonton have had a fair amount of success against Carolina. Then the Oilers go on, really their last tough road trip of the year. And they got some good teams. They play Vegas on Sunday the 8th. They play Colorado on Tuesday the 10th. In Dallas on the 12th. Those are 3 good teams. And then they got the Blues on the 13th. And that's it. After that, the Oilers, then they come home for 4. Then they got a short road trip with some days off, Utah and Vegas. And they're back home where, they got 2 more days off in between games a few times. And the Oilers schedule after that is like rest is pretty good. And, they play Colorado. They play Vegas. They play... No, the only teams that they play in April currently that are ahead of them are Vegas and Colorado. And you've got Vegas again in March. You have Tampa Bay's ahead of them. Dallas, Colorado, Vegas are ahead of them. Carolina's ahead of them. So they don't have a ton of games against teams ahead of them in the standings. It's a pretty favorable schedule. Now they just have to take advantage of it. So, hey guys, what's your take on the Kulak trade? We could have gotten Girard, but gave Kulak away for nothing. Brandon, why the hell would you want Girard? Why do you want Sammy Girard? He's a $5 million player who's 5'9", and he plays with bordering on a souvenir stick. Look at how short his stick is. In the playoffs, taking away time and space is one of the biggest attributes you want from your defenseman. When you're 5'9", you play the short stick, you're not taking away time and space. There's a reason Colorado traded him. Right? They were never going into the playoffs with Walensky and Girard. And remember, the year they won the Cup, Sammy Girard only played 7 games in the playoffs. You had Cale Makar, you had Taves, but then you had Beast, you had Manson, huge. Johnson, huge. They had big D-men. So, no, Edmonton would have zero interest in Samuel Girard. At least I would hope they would. I like Samuel Girard as an NHL player. I don't like him as a player who's going to help me try to win a Stanley Cup. Okay? He's not that dynamic offensively to overcome his size. So for me, he's had a great career. Don't get me wrong. Guy's probably going to play 800 games. It's unreal. But he is not at all somebody the Edmonton Oilers should be looking at. Plus, he's a left shot defenseman. Why the hell do they need another left shot defenseman, my man? Come on. Just because a player gets traded doesn't mean the Oilers needed him or could have had him. They have no interest or no need for Girard. All right. Girard was a salary dump. They paid a second rounder for Pittsburgh, and they got Brett Kulak in the deal. I love that trade for Colorado because I like Brett Kulak on your third pair. I really like him. I take him over Sammy Girard in the playoffs all day, every day, twice on Sunday. No questions asked. Quick break. We'll come back. Dave McCarthy will join us. We got lots of Eastern hockey talk to get to. Struddy's coming up later on. We'll remember his time with the Lisp, Connor Halley, so accurately reminded us of earlier today. So we'll get to that and more on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Actions speak louder than words. Japa Machinery Group puts your construction plan into action with XCMG construction machinery you need. Available for rental or sale. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
Sometimes you think about what you're going to do in the day. Go to work, pick up the kids from school, make supper. But at GS Construction, we think a little differently. Winter is our season to think, to plan, and to improve. We study, we innovate, we train. So when the thaw comes, we're ready to dig, build, and deliver even better, which means we need people like you. If you're thinking about joining the team at GS Construction, now's the time to do it. To apply and to see how we think, visit gsconstruction.ca.
Hello.
You're never going to believe this. Booster Juice called your name today. You can get a free smoothie or acai bowl.
No way. I'm heading there now.
Oh my gosh, you and my brother have the same name. Okay, I'm calling him next. I'm hanging up.
Booster Juice Names of the Day is back. 2 names are selected each day, and if your name matches, you can get a free smoothie or an acai bowl. Watch for your name on the Booster Rewards app and social media. Must be an app member to qualify. Booster Juice, Canadian-born, blending since 1999.
Exciting news from St. Albert Dodge. The all-new 2026 Jeep Gladiator Sport packages have arrived. They have a great selection and a bunch of colors to choose from. And if you've checked out the Sport, you know it comes in some fun colors. Rugged capability, practical off-road features, and you can get behind the wheel for as low as $49,900. That's right. Put yourself in a brand new Jeep Gladiator Sport for less than $50,000. What more can you ask for? Time to head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
At Hughes, it's all about getting in and out quick and clean. No cash, no problem. With Hughes' new tap and wash system, all you need is your debit or credit card to get your vehicle sparkling clean.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need, Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Made for some rough roads, but it means trails are now packed and ready for action. Don't miss out on riding adventures this winter with a Ski-Doo from Riverside Honda and Ski-Doo. Work or play with new 2026 Generation 5 models with class-leading design and power. And right now, take advantage of 5.99% financing OAC. Only at Riverside Honda and Ski-Doo. 15 Inglewood Drive in St. Albert. And always at riversidehonda.com. Shop local, shop Canadian.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. We treat pain and injuries head to toe and some other issues that might surprise you, like incontinence, vertigo, neuropathy, and cognitive issues. We invest in the technology, techniques, skills, and people that know how and what to fix. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Oh, the weekend. Talented dude, man. Talented dude. How are you? And welcome back to the Gregor Show, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. Honestly, it's going to be hard pressed for me to find a more memorable and funny halftime show than the weekend when he was in the mirror maze. It's unbelievable, Connor Hadley. Like, you know what? There's going to be other performers that are great, but that just for a memorable moment. Oh, it's unbelievable. So funny. So funny. It was a great meme afterwards. It was an absolute classic. So, and the guy can sing. He's got an excellent set of chops on him. No doubt about that. It is the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Hope you're having a lovely Tuesday. Good news. Warming up a little bit here. Man, -7 feels balmy again. I like it. ODR should be back in pristine condition right now. So hopefully it stays just cold enough where kids can get out there. Like -20 and below kind of sucks in the ODR. You're not out there long enough. So I don't want it to warm up too much because then it's all slushy. So just find a few weeks of just a good, solid, like -8, -14. Perfect. Perfect. Now, let's go in the room, brought to you by Action Electrical. 53 years in business, and they specialize. Their testing division provides preventative maintenance and electrical testing for commercial buildings. It includes infrared and ultrasonic testing, arc flash studies, and energized or de-energized testing of electrical systems. ActionElectrical.ca. net. And we are joined once again, our regular guest on Tuesday afternoons from Sirius XM, Dave A. McCarthy. Davey, how you doing, my man?
It must be pretty warm in your neck of the woods. What with you in a t-shirt right now, Jason? Look at you.
In studio, buddy. In studio, yeah.
How warm do they keep it in that studio of yours?
Well, you know what? The studio can be it's like a box of chocolates, man. You never know what you're going to get in here. So, some days it's pretty warm, and then the other days it was you got to wear a hoodie on. So it varies. I'd rather have a cold, to be honest.
Really?
I hate when it gets too hot, man. Like, honestly, it's almost tarps off. Like, I can't handle it. I'm not good.
Ooh.
Like, if I'm hot, I want to be in the beach.
Yeah.
I don't want sitting in the studio. And it probably goes back when I worked in the oil field, man. Like, the worst was summertime. You got to wear your long coveralls. It's the worst. So yeah, I hate working in heat. I don't like it.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. When you're in the sun and you got to be wearing coveralls, it's a little bit too much. But I don't know if I'm sitting doing a raid. Like, I was considering doing the brunch from practice the other day. Couldn't end up finding a reliable internet connection, but I wanted to maybe do it in the midst of practice with the gold medal game going on. I thought it might work out. Didn't work out. But in hindsight, I'm probably kind of glad it didn't, because sitting for 2.5 hours in the ice cold practice rink, you just get that chill in you, or at least I do. That the only way you get that out is if you come home and literally lie in a bath for like 2 hours. And, even then, it's not for me. So I'm not a big cold guy. I'd rather it hot, but hey, we're all different. It's all good.
Hey, buddy, lie in a bath. You lost me right there. I'm just like, no.
Oh man, nothing better than a bath. You got some aromatherapy going on, a bath bomb. Oh, it's very revitalizing, Jason.
Hey, speaking of revitalizing, there's few teams that want to try to revitalize their playoff hopes. And I will say, hat tip to the schedule maker, because there's some unbelievable games here before the trade deadline. They're going to help some teams, like, basically say, hey, the schedule maker is going to help us decide if we're even going to try to acquire something, or maybe we're going to sell off some assets. And a few of those teams specifically reside in Canada, but also in the Atlantic Division. And you have Toronto. They play Tampa, Florida, Ottawa, 3 games in 4 days. Ottawa plays Detroit and Toronto right away. And so when you look at Ottawa, they're chasing both of those teams. They got to win. Toronto probably has to, for sure, beat Florida and Ottawa. And they probably have to beat Tampa. Like, Toronto probably has to sweep, because they're 6 points out. If they don't gain any ground by next Wednesday, I think you got to sell.
Oh, without question. I think the answer will be clear by the time the trade deadline rolls around. If they're in the Leafs within 2 or 3 points, I don't necessarily expect them to have a fire sale. I think they would be willing in that position to sell if they get legitimate offers for a guy like Bobby McMahon. I know there is interest on the part of Bobby to return to Toronto. He also told me he's interested in getting paid, as he should. But I do know he loves playing for the Leafs and would like to try and find a way to make that work. Reports have suggested somewhere in the neighborhood of $5 million a year times 4 or 5 years. Is that too much cake for the Leafs standpoint? How much would he be willing to come down from that? It's a difficult decision, because as much as I love Bobby McMahon, I think you love Bobby McMahon at the price that he's at right now, which is just over $1 million. And it's the same thing I said about, Nikita Zadorov when he signed in Boston. Man, you loved him out west in Calgary and in Vancouver when he was making, not very much money. When you're making 5+, then there's another component of your game that fans will expect you to provide that I'm not sure he can provide. And he's been okay in Boston, but it's a lot of money. Same thing with Bobby McMahon. So we'll see if there's a deal there to be made. I do know he would like to stay, but he's also earned the right to get paid. But if the Leafs are within 2 or 3 points, unless you blow their socks off with a deal, I don't think they're going to throw guys overboard. I think they'll look and say, look at who we have to catch. Does Pittsburgh crater with Sidney Crosby's potential a lack of availability here? Can the Islanders hold on? Does Boston slide out? Does Buffalo, slide out? I think there could be some teams that are vulnerable there. So if they're within a stone's throw, I think they might hold. If they lose all 3 out of the break, then I think they'd be more willing to be more aggressive sellers. Another guy is Oliver Ekman-Larsson. who would have interest for teams that are in a position to contend. He's had a great year. He's reasonable at just over $4 million. He's got another year left after this. But the Leafs also intend to be good themselves next year, on which he would be a benefit. So unless the team blows the doors off for Oliver Ekman-Larsson, I wouldn't expect him to move if they're within 2 or 3 points. So it'll be interesting to see from Toronto's standpoint. But what I will say also, Jason, is that it's going to be important to have Austin Matthews in the lineup starting on Wednesday, which Craig Berube suggested he will be if they're going to get rolling.
Yeah. Looking at the let's start with the Panthers. They had lots of guys playing at the Olympics. They're even farther out than the Maple Leafs are right now. They're an old team. They've yet to re-sign their goaltender Bobrovsky. There's some rumblings. Jeff Merrick had mentioned that he heard some rumblings that maybe they'll consider moving him, which is kind of wild to me. But do you see them looking and saying, hey, maybe that we just kind of reset and come back next year when Barkov's healthy and Kachuk's healthy to start the year? And you know what? As much as you'd love to win every year, this might not be our year, more so due to injury. And a guy like Evan Rodrigues suddenly gets moved.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, look, if you're being a prudent management group, which Bill Zito has shown himself to be over the last number of years, sometimes you got to make some unpopular decisions. And quite frankly, I don't think they're getting in the playoffs this year. They're 8 points back. We'll see what level Matthew Tkachuk is at here coming down the stretch. Alex Barkov is not a part of the program, nor would I expect him to be to any degree of consequence down the stretch. How are you going to make up that kind of ground? So, look, Sergei Bobrovsky's an unrestricted free agent at the end of the year. He's also going to be 38 next season. If you're a team looking for a goalie in a rental situation, we've seen what he can do the last couple of playoffs. I'd be willing to roll the dice on that and see if he can come in and give us lightning in a bottle here for 4 to 5 months. Now, the amount of goalies that have been acquired by teams at the deadline that have gone on to win Stanley Cups is pretty low. Like, that doesn't happen very often, especially goalies later on in their careers. We saw St. Louis try and do it with Marty Brodeur a number of years ago. It didn't work out well. They tried it with Ryan Miller, I think, St. Louis as well, right? Didn't work out very well. But, who's to say somebody wouldn't look at Bobrovsky's last 2, even 3 playoff years, really, and say, man, why can't we get 4 or 5 good months out of him? And if you're Florida, I think they already have to be looking ahead to who their goaltending is going to be provided by starting next year. And I don't know if it's a guarantee that it's going to be Sergei Bobrovsky. Guy's going to be 38. Like, that's getting up there, right? He might still be good, but once you get to that point in a guy's career, and a guy who's played a lot of hockey, right, as well over the last, throughout the bulk of his career, he's closing in on 800 games, but certainly the last 3, that's a lot of mileage on that chassis. So I think they've got to be looking ahead at who their goalie is going to be. Will it be Bobrovsky? If it is him, how much are they willing to sign him for at that age? How much is he looking for if he wants to continue to play, which I think he does? And he should be looking for a lot of money on a probably two-year deal, given how he's played the last number of years. Why wouldn't he? I could see something happening there. I really do. I think that would be a prudent move from Florida's standpoint. And look, even if they move him and they still like him and he doesn't sign an extension, there's no reason why he can't be re-signed in the offseason as an unrestricted free agent. I know he likes it down in Florida. There's a really strong Russian community down in that area of the country, in that area of the state. I think he'd have interest in returning. But if you can move him along, get assets, he can get a chance to try and win another Stanley Cup. Yeah, I'm going to look long and hard at this one, because I would put the percentage of him being moved certainly a hell of a lot more than 0. I would maybe say 35% at this point.
Okay. Dave McCarthy from SiriusXM joins. Davey, what about the Ottawa Senators, who, you know what, they're no closer than Toronto at all. They got some younger pieces. What if they don't get any closer? What do you think Steve Staios' approach will be? Does he just stand pat, or does he need to make a move?
Well, I think he's probably going to have to make a move, but it's not a trade deadline move to me. I think it's something that you have to sit back in the summertime, revisit your roster as a whole, your organization as a whole, and recognize where they've been able to get to, which was 1 year in the playoffs and out relatively easily against a team that never beats anybody in the playoffs, right? And so, prior to that, for 2 or 3 years, we'd been hearing that Ottawa was right there and they're ready to take a big step, and they basically trip out of the gates and season over with by U.S. Thanksgiving. They finally squeeze in, they get pumped in the first round, and here again, the odds are suggesting that they're not likely to make the playoffs. So when you look at, what are we going to say, 5 years of legitimate data, when legitimate people thought they would be in a position to make the playoffs, and they've made the playoffs 1 out of 5 years and been out in the first round, maybe you're not quite as good as you think you are. I think they would have to look long and hard about shaking things up and changing some significant pieces within that organization. Because I think if you keep the group as it is, given what we've seen out of it over the last 5 or 6 years, and think that they're going to be a Stanley Cup contender, I think you're kidding yourself to an extent, because I haven't seen any indication that they're capable of getting there.
What about in the West? What do you make of the Kraken and the Ducks? How aggressive do you think they'll be?
The Ducks I like, but not for this year, if that makes any sense. They might squeeze in.
Yeah.
And it's
that'd be good for them. That'd be a win.
100%. That's a win if they can get in. Like, they kind of remind me, just to use an example I'm abundantly familiar with, the 16-17 Leafs. After they were no good for a decade, they brought in a lot of young talent. They were up and down throughout that year. And then ultimately they found a way to squeeze in with some really good play down the stretch. And they gave Washington a run that year. And that was considered a really good year, as it should have been, because nobody expected them to make the playoffs coming into that season. And I think the same thing applies to the Ducks this time around. You got a real good collection of young talent. And if you can put it together and find your way to squeeze into the playoffs, that's good. And then you'll get a lot of information on how some of the younger guys perform in the playoffs. And I do think they're headed on a track where they will continue to improve and to get better. So, I think if they can just squeeze in, that's a win. Do I expect them to be crazy buyers? No, I don't think they're at that position. That's foolish. I'm against really pushing your chips into the middle of the table, because you only have so many chips, right? Eventually you get to the point where you're like, holy cow, we don't have a first round pick for 3 years. That's not good. That's not good. You don't want to start spending that kind of capital till you're ready to win, not just squeeze into the playoffs. So I kind of expect them to stand pat. For Seattle, I don't really like their team very much. I don't. I think they've got a lot of guys that are just guys that are slotted too high in that lineup. Like, I think Chandler Stevenson, Matty Beniers, Shane Wright, you probably need 2 of those guys at most, not 3, because none of them are first line centers in my mind. You've got 2 second line centers and like a really good third line center, however you want to classify that. None of them are. So they need, what I'm saying is, somebody better than all 3 of those guys. You're going to have to move somebody, and you might as well. I don't see them as a Stanley Cup contender. I see them as a collection of fine players that might make the playoffs some years, might not make the playoffs other years, but is never a Stanley Cup contender. And to me, like, that's not how you want to build your team. You want to try and build your team so you got a chance to win a Stanley Cup. I don't see it in Seattle. Do I think it means something to them to make the playoffs from an organizational standpoint, a revenue standpoint, a fan base engagement standpoint? Yes, I also do. But I think you have to make difficult decisions to put that team in a position to win a Stanley Cup. And that might involve moving some guys out that you like them. They might help you make the playoffs, but they're not going to help you win a Stanley Cup. So that's why I look at the Pacific Division. You and I talked about this the other day, Jason. I don't really see outside of the Oilers, but I don't like them the way they are right now either. There are not a lot of cup contenders in that division. Seattle is going to have to make some tough decisions. I don't see them as a cup contender. I know they'd like to make the playoffs, but I also think they need to move some guys out and try to improve upon how their roster is constructed.
Davey, what'd you make of the trade today? Colorado, Pittsburgh.
Look, Sam Girard is a guy who is a good puck-moving defenseman. He's small, and those tend to be guys that Kyle Dubas likes. No shade being thrown here at all. Don't read it that way. But Kyle Dubas has never been against small, skilled defensemen. Do I think Sam Girard is the type of guy that can handle the rigors of a long playoff run as a top pairing defenseman? No, I do not. Do I think he can be used situationally on a good team? Yes, I do. So savvy move on the part of Kyle to bring in a guy that has a skill set, but he alone is not you cannot bring him in there to be your top pairing defenseman. You will not like that if you're Pittsburgh, but you can use him effectively as a power play guy, as a guy that is put on the ice at even strength in positions where he can succeed. In other words, not up against other teams' top lines where I think he would get not caved in, but he wouldn't come out best in that matchup often enough. And in Colorado's standpoint, it's a move where you free up some money under the salary cap, which would suggest that they would be attempting to make a supplementary move, a corresponding move, if you will, to bring in someone else on the back end that they think would be able to handle those rigors of a long cup run a little bit better than Sam Girard. In Colorado, you don't need a power play guy. Cale Makar is that guy, and he plays pretty much the whole power play. So that's how I see that move, is that Colorado is going to make another move to upgrade on a guy in Sam Girard, who they liked, but feel they could use someone a little bit more capable of handling a different role than what Sam Girard is capable of playing.
Davey, great stuff, buddy. Have yourself a wonderful day, and we'll chat with you on the brunch on Sunday.
Sounds good, buddy. See you.
There you go. Dave McCarthy from Sirius XM 342 833 401 1440 833 401 1440. Order fans, we'll talk about your nemesis next. The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great, but you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium one-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular menu price. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's with a $6 one-top medium when you order any large specialty at regular menu price. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpots Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
Need a new ride for road trips, errands, or just life on the go?
Go Auto offers a massive selection with over 15,000 new and used vehicles to choose from. With over 70 locations across Western Canada, finding your next ride has never been easier. Whether it's a roomy SUV for the family, a sleek car for the open road, or a rugged truck for your weekend adventures, you'll find it here at a price you'll love. Explore thousands of vehicles today at goauto.ca.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at edmontonexpocentre.com today.
From the locker room to your radio, Sports 1440 is Edmonton's sports leader. Real talk, big personalities, and your texts. It's interactive. It's fun. It's where Edmonton talks sports. Sports 1440.
The job won't wait. Why should you? At AWS Welding Supplies and Repairs, conveniently located in Nisku, we've got everything you need to get it done. From product sales to servicing and calibrating machines, we're your one-stop shop. We're a proud, locally owned and operated business, committed to serving our community with a proven track record of customer service. Don't let a broken tool slow you down. We offer fast repairs and free same-day delivery of in-stock items to Leduc, Nisku, and South Edmonton. AWS Welding. We make it happen.
Great news for your weekend project. CFI, that's Custom Floors Inc., is now open 6 days a week with Saturday hours from 10 till 2. Get top quality Canadian products from Beaulieu with the convenience you need. For your free estimate, visit CFI at customfloorsinc.ca.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the Power Play 24/7 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at ewell.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today. At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit fountaintire.com today.
Portions of this hour brought to you by UL. Get your power play amped up with UL, supplying the City of Champions and Alberta with quality electrical gear since 1975. UL.ca is your partner in power.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
.347. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Hope you're having a fantastic Tuesday. Hey, Taco Tuesday. Who doesn't like that? Also, you can check out playalberta.ca. $65 million. The Eric Carlson of lotteries today. Lotto Max and 8 Max Millions. Hey, I'd settle for just like 1 mil. You know, 65 would be awesome. Don't get me wrong, but man, 1? Ooh, could be a good game changer. Good game changer. No doubt about that. We got a lot of text flying in, and we'll get to all of those. We do have coming up, we're going to get to our stat of the day. We're going to get some stats just to remind you of what is coming up. You've had 3 weeks off. You're like, man, I don't really remember what the hell's going on. Who's hot? Who's not? We'll get to all of that coming up in the 4. Are we doing Danny now, Connor, or 4 o'clock?
4 o'clock he'll be on.
Oh, we changed that? All right. Okay.
Oh, did I write that?
Yeah. That's why I said Danny Webster at 3:40.
My bad.
Oh,
the text from this morning, you said 4, so that's my book. But I just wrote it wrong. That's on
it's
me.
all good. No, that's all good. I thought that was the only time he could do it. So Danny's coming up at 4:00. All right, good to know. Hey guys, Canada iced the best forward roster arguably since the '87 Canada Cup. Hellebuck did not have moved laterally nearly enough. He was able to cut down angles and focus on the shooter. Only Taves' chance was a legitimate rebound. Only McKinnon open net was a legitimate cross-ice opportunity. Told this forward group to a 6-foot expected goals. The way Canada was playing is a testament to team defense. I've been an Oilers fan since '79, and I often get caught up with my copper and blue glasses on. When it comes to team defending, the Oilers just haven't had that buy-in this year, and Skinner was a sacrificial lamb. Eichel, Matthews, and a Dizzy Larkin were rarely caught on the wrong side of the puck. Haji. Oh, I would strongly disagree, man. Strongly disagree. All you got to do is like they gave up 23 slot shots. Celebrini is what are you talking about? How many times did they go from the corner? Those are hard saves to make. 23 slot shots. 12 chances off the rush to 3. 12 to 3. Expected goals is basically 6. Right? Like, hey, McKinnon wide up Taves, like, hey, that's an unbelievable effort by the goalie. You can't discount him. But I don't see how you can say that USA played stifling defense. I just don't see how. Like, they didn't generate anything. Like, it's a one-game thing. You're trying to compare a one game to a 7-game series, and it's not comparable. Yeah, a goalie can steal one game. Hellebuck wasn't going to do that for 4 games and win the series. Right? Just wasn't going to. When was the last time a goalie stole all 4 games? Right? Doesn't happen. Can steal 1. That's unreal. It's huge when 2 teams are that tight. But I don't know. I thought Canada dominated. They created tons of chances. I didn't see outstanding defensive plays. Like, I think people are Austin Matthews, great defensively. Did he even have a pulse offensively? I'm sorry. They won, and that's awesome. They won. But them winning, even Jack Hughes said, hey, they're the better team, but Hellebuck was the better player. And that's 100% true. But I'm not going to start anointing other guys for having great games when you gave up that many chances and your goalie had to bail you out time and time and time again. I just can't do it. The goaltending was unreal. So, unreal. I can't. We are disagreeing on that one for sure. I don't know, Cons, if you saw something that I didn't see, but I did not see stifling defense by Team USA.
No, I mean, there was instances I thought where like individual efforts, the Austin Matthews plays a couple there. You talked about him offensively. Yeah, he was passing up looks from right in front of the net, trying to make the extra pass. So there it wasn't great on that end. But no, I mean, Canada at times kept to the outside, and I thought really outside of the breakaways and the save on Taves, I mean, Hellebuck, I don't know how many 5-alarm saves he really had to make. Canada, I didn't like their shot selections, especially on that 5-on-3 power play. I thought that was taking them from bad angles. When they missed, it was, rimming around, clearing the zone. But no, Canada had their opportunities, just didn't bury them.
Yeah. 833-401-1440. Hey, guys, can someone explain? I don't understand that Pittsburgh trade. Why would they acquire a power play D-man when they have Letang and Carlson? Bad Niv. Well, bad Niv, you got some bad advice from someone if you think Sammy Girard's a power play guy. He spent a grand total of 2 minutes and 48 seconds on the power play. Their second unit power play defenseman is Malinsky. So you're probably just getting them confused. They're both smaller guys. Malinsky's the offensive power play guy. Sammy Girard, he's kind of it's a unique. He's a defensive. He can move the puck, but he's not an offensively gifted defenseman who's that small. And that's why I think it's very difficult for him to ever be on a cup contending team, because usually you got to be elite offensively if you're a little bit on the smaller side defensive as a defenseman. It's just how it is. Or you got to be like some spectacular defensive defender. Like Jared Spurgeon, he's a little bit of a unicorn in that regard. But think of any other like small D-men who you look and say, wow, he's there just for his defensive acumen. But Sammy Girard is not a power play guy at all. So that trade, it's an interesting one. I'm a little perplexed in what like obviously they want to keep acquiring draft picks in Pittsburgh. And they took on the cap hit. Like, if they think Sammy Girard is better than Brett Kulak, that's Sammy Girard probably a little bit better of a puck mover, but he's not a better skater. He's not bigger. I don't think he's a better defender. So I don't know. I find that a little perplexing. Like, I wonder, like, when I saw that trade, I'm like, does Pittsburgh know something more about the health of Sidney Crosby? And because I look at that trade as, I don't think their team's better today, regardless of the draft pick. I don't think Kulak for Girard makes them a better team. So now, obviously, they disagree with me, and that's okay. But I'm looking at a team, and their goal is, like, even in Pittsburgh, hey, they want to get in. And if you get in and you finish second in the Metro, you could win a round of the playoffs for sure. And then who knows? Could you upset Carolina in the second round? Possibly. And if you play the Islanders or the Blue Jackets, I don't think that you would be a massive underdog by any stretch if you're the Pittsburgh Penguins. So I could see it happening, but I'm kind of like, I don't know, Cons, where do you come out of this? To me, I'm perplexed by this trade for Pittsburgh. Because now I get that there's value in second rounders, but is there that much value when you have had a great year that you think Sammy Girard is better than Brett Kulak?
Yeah, I mean, I love it for Colorado. Like a 2028 second rounder. You don't worry about that one right now. You're getting a guy who has tons of playoff experience the last couple of years and a guy who's elevated his game, like playoff Kulak. That's a thing for a reason. He's been really good when it matters the most. Like you said, does it allude to the fact that maybe this is more of a serious injury for Crosby? Do the Penguins now think, let's start to restock the shelves? Maybe Geno Malkin's next in the next couple of days here. If that is the case, and you're going to start to like rebuild the team, stock the shelves with draft picks. In that case, I could say, okay, maybe it does make a little bit of sense. But, if I'm the Colorado Avalanche, I'm absolutely thrilled with this deal because you have, arguably, maybe not even arguably, the toughest division in the NHL. You've got the Dallas Stars who are going to load up. You got the Minnesota Wild who are going to load up. Like it's going to be a murderer's row in that Central Division. And it's crazy to think one of those three teams is done after the first round. So load up as much as you can. So for the Avs, I love it.
Yeah, I quite like that trade as well. 833-401-1440. We'll get to Vegas and Struddy in hour number 3. But first, let's get to the con man and a sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire. Fountain Tire, they like to focus on one thing, your vehicle. From wheels, tires, oil change, and vehicle repairs, they have you covered. Visit fountaintire.com.
The Sports 1440 update.
The Colorado Avalanche have acquired defenseman Brett Kulak from the Pittsburgh Penguins in exchange for defenseman Samuel Girard and a 2028 second-round pick. Kulak has 1 goal, 8 assists for 9 points in 56 games between the Penguins and the Oilers, and the Dallas Stars announcing forward Mikko Rantanen will miss at least the next 2 weeks, possibly more, due to the injury he suffered while playing for Finland at the Winter Games. The WHL tonight, Oil Kings hosting the Medicine Hat Tigers. Puck drop 7 o'clock in the AJ2 games, Whitecourt and Drayton Valley, while Calgary will host the Kodiaks. In the association, Toronto taking on the Thunder. Tip-off 5:30. Both for the Heat and Bucks. Pelicans host the Warriors. Celtics in the desert taking on the Suns. And the Trailblazers meet the Timberwolves from the NFL. New Atlanta Falcons general manager Ian Cunningham informed quarterback Kirk Cousins recently that the team would release him on the first day of the league year. If the Falcons release Cousins next month with a June 1st designation, they'd save $2.1 million in the salary cap this season. The dead money would be in 2026 at $22.5 million and then $12.5 in 2027. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Golden Knights beat reporter Danny Webster, former NHL'er Jason Strudwick, and we'll ask 5 questions. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Are you looking for safe and professional transportation solutions for your group events and sports teams? Look no further than Silent Rides, Alberta's premier charter bus company. Whether your group is big or small, Silent Rides has you covered. We offer state-of-the-art motor coaches, first-class service, and affordable rates. Get your quote today. For more information and to request a quote, contact sales at 877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
They're not just a grocery store. They're a butcher, a baker, a cafe, deli, rotisserie pizza, and restaurant, all under one roof. Loca Quality Market does food differently with 2 locations to serve you, Edmonton and Sherwood Park. Visit loca.ca.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Hot coffee, hotter takes, and the sports stories that matter. Check out Kevin Carrius weekday mornings from 7 to 11 on Edmonton's Sports Leader, Sports 1440. Be part of the conversation. 833-401-1440.
It's the iconic Jasper and Patty Party. That's on the rocks.
We're turning Jasper Avenue green.
Your 5-day St. Paddy's Day party kicks off Friday at OTR.
With live entertainment every day.
Including the Feelin' Lucky burlesque show on Sunday.
Plus pipers, Irish dancers, and doors open at 9 a.m. on the 17th.
We got more green beer than Marco has fancy shirts. And trust me, that's a lot.
Lucky the Leprechaun will be there.
Will you?
It's the iconic Jasper and Patty Party. That's on the rocks. Next round's on me. Woohoo!
McValue meals are here. Get the McD's you love for $5 plus tax every day with your choice of a McDouble, Junior Chicken, or Chicken Snack Wrap with small fries and small fountain drink. All for just $5 plus taxes. Canadian restaurants. Product availability varies. Prices exclude delivery.
1 in 3 adults don't get enough sleep. The Brick is here to help with deals on your entire bedroom. Save up to 50% off clearance mattresses, 50% off beds when you buy any 3 matching pieces. Buy one, get one half price on ceiling memory foam pillows, and save $100 off any adjustable power base when you buy a mattress over $9.99. Plus, check out other incredible savings in every department. Some exclusions apply. Check out The Brick in South Common, West Ed Mall, North Side, and downtown.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpots Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
McValue meals are here. Get the McD's you love for $5 plus tax every day with your choice of a McDouble, Junior Chicken, or Chicken Snack Wrap with small fries and small fountain drink. All for just $5 plus taxes. Canadian restaurants. Product availability varies. Prices exclude delivery.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Papa John's is making you 2 or more items for only $9.99 each from their Papa Pairings menu. Enjoy a medium 1-topping pizza, boneless wings, cheese sticks, and more. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by playalberta.ca.
Just after 4 o'clock. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching the show. Lots going on in the sporting world. Some big games again in the NBA last night. Man, did you see the Spurs and the Pistons? And Spurs look good. Spurs look good. And hey, Cons, the drought ended last night. No longer can Declan Kruger walk around the studio feeling embarrassed that his Heat were the last team to lose at home to the worst team in the NBA, because that changed last night as Sacramento ends their 16-game losing streak, 21-game road losing streak, and gets a win in Memphis. So there you go. Tonight you got the Thunder, although they're banged up, taking on Toronto. That's a pretty big game, one to watch for. You also have another pretty big matchup tonight between the Knicks and the Cavaliers. Third and fourth best teams in the East. So if you're looking to fill your time because you're like, man, I don't know what to do. There's no Olympics. There's no NHL. Well, we'll have some good NBA action to check out tonight 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Let's get to our big guest of the day today, brought to you by the Summit Restaurant, located in the heart of Silent Ice Center, just minutes outside of South Edmonton. It's your destination for exceptional house-made pizza, delicious entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails. That is Summit Restaurant. As we are joined, we're going to talk a little Vegas Golden Knights. Them and the Oilers were close, but then the Oilers lost 3 in a row. Vegas won their last 2 games going into the break, and now they got a 4-point lead on the Oilers for first in the Pacific Division. Those 2 teams will meet later on in March and then again in April. Danny Webster, beat reporter for the Golden Knights, writes at the Las Vegas Review-Journal, joins us now. And Danny, I guess let's start with Vegas. Are you expecting, do they got a healthy lineup returning from the Olympic break?
About as healthy as it was maybe a few weeks ago, right? I mean, they activated Brady McNabb, Colton Sissons, and Brandon Saad off IR. They're all expected to be available tomorrow in LA. Beyond that, Brett Howden's still injured. William Karlsson's still injured. Doesn't sound like he's anywhere close to it. Carter Hart also not expected to be back anytime soon. But the fact that they got 3 guys back and healthy from where they were a few weeks ago, I would say it's a lot more healthier than where they were before the break.
Who was Anderson playing with since he got acquired from Calgary?
Anderson's been playing with Hannafin, so
Okay,
it's kind of been that Calgary connection
Okay.
since starting, yeah.
Okay. And how's he looked?
I think he looks fine. I think the puck movement there it comes as advertised. I think that offensive instinct is there. I think his gap control has been a little bit of an issue, but I also think that has to do with getting up to speed with a new system, with a new team, and going through all the situations that he's gone through with immigration and then jumping into the lineup on a road trip and then not even getting acclimated back at home. So he hasn't really, and then the Olympics. So he hasn't really had a whole lot of chance to get acclimated. So I think it's more so just a little bit of time here and there to kind of iron things out. But I think on the surface, there are things there from Rasmus Anderson's game that definitely appeal to why the Golden Knights invested so much to get him.
Do you think the Knights are done, or are they looking to acquire other positions before the deadline?
It's hard to say because they don't have the draft capital to do it. Obviously, Calgary now owns their next 3 first-round picks, or potentially, if they win the Cup this year. So that makes it hard to make a big swing again, as big of a swing as they did for Anderson. But I do think that they're probably sniffing around for a middle 6 forward. I do think that that's something that they want to look at. They do want to look at, the possibility of adding a winger that can produce like a 15, 20 goal rate if they could. I don't think they're going to be in play for a big name on the market going forward. I just don't think that they have the capital to do it. I don't think they want to part with any more of their prospects that they have available. So that part of it, I think, is just now availability. I would never rule them out because they've done this before. And when people think that they don't have anything left in the tank to pull off a big deal, they go ahead and do it. So I'm not going to sit here and say that they're going to be completely out of it. But right now, I would say I don't think that there's one more big move in the chamber for them before now and next Friday.
The Brett Howden injury, how serious? When is he expected back?
Yeah, that one's the interesting one because that one came out of nowhere. Really didn't see why he got hurt or anything of the sort. The good news is that he is skating on his own. So that's a good sign. I think probably another couple more weeks before he's able to return to the lineup. But that would be my guess. And given the fact that they've had to play different guys out of position and playing them at center, I think they'll welcome anybody who can play center at this point. So good sign for Brett Howden that he's skating on his own, but I think probably in a couple more weeks is when you're likely to see him back in the lineup.
Okay. They come out of this break and they're on a 5-game road trip, which is kind of a cross country because they start in LA, which is close to home, but then they go to Washington, Pittsburgh, Buffalo, and Detroit. And then they're back home for a few, including a game against the Oilers. And, they got Oilers at home again later in March. I look at Vegas's schedule is pretty favorable. They got that back-to-back in Detroit and Buffalo, of course. But then after that, the rest of the month, I think they have just one other back-to-back. And in Nashville and Dallas. And so, they're in first place, but really those 3 games against Edmonton, obviously, unless one of the teams goes into a real funk, is likely going to decide who's getting home ice.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you look at the way that schedule is, it's 18 games throughout the month of March. And I think the fact that, like you said, 2 back-to-backs there, they're pretty much playing every other day other than maybe a 2-day absence in there as well. So it's going to be very crowded. But like you said, outside of that Buffalo-Detroit back-to-back, and then, I think you probably can't overlook the Capitals coming out of that one, knowing that it's going to be, it's in DC. You got Jack Eichel and Noah Hannafin possibly returning to the lineup in that game. That's probably going to be an important game on a lot of different fronts there. So, yeah, I mean, the schedule looks favorable, and the matchups against the Oilers, I think, are going to decide it. When you look at the way that these two teams, obviously had their big guns in the Olympics, so now they got to get them back up to speed. They got to make sure that they're handling their rest. So I think that's what it's going to come down to, is how can they manage their rest well, and who of the depth players on both of those teams are going to be able to play well. And it's going to be really interesting to see how this division race stacks up over the next month, because like you said, if one team goes in a slide, then suddenly you're looking at maybe, I don't know, Anaheim, LA, San Jose. If they can make a run, then suddenly things are looking a little bit interesting there.
Looking at the Vegas Golden Knights, Danny Webster joins us. What about the goaltending? You mentioned Carter Hart, and his numbers weren't great. Aiden Hill hasn't looked very consistent, and their goaltending numbers, it's not like you can say, wow, they're playing terrible defensively. Their defensive numbers are actually okay, but their goaltending numbers just aren't good. What's gone wrong?
Yeah, I mean, that's hard to say. I mean, you look at the way that the defensive numbers, I think overall have been very good. I think when you look at it from a micro sense, it's been mostly one play here, one play there. That's kind of forced things as far as the goals against and whatnot. I think it's been a couple of breakdowns here and there that you don't normally see from the Golden Knights. And I think that's because they've had to rotate defensemen. They've been without Brady McNabb for the last month and a half. They were out without Noah Hannafin for the first 14, 15 games of the season. So, and then I think, and now if I can remember it, because, the winter break or the winter Olympic break, you pretty much forget everything. Shea Theodore missed time as well. So there is a lot of rotating defensemen in there, and you're trying to, make sure that you have, the right system in place for that. But, overall, I think when you look at the goaltending situation, Akira Schmidt's obviously been their most consistent. He's been the one that's been winning games. He's been the one that has been able to stop the most pucks. When you look at how Aiden Hill's season has gone, I think the fact that he's missed time also has not helped in that instance. And then Carter Hart, like you said, throwing him in there after 2 years away. And I think his numbers are probably what everyone would have expected by this point. So I think the expectation would be, especially with Aiden Hill, he got the win at the very end of before the break, and he played very well. And I think that's that's a big confidence booster for him. So I would expect, especially with the rest that that the 2 goalies especially got, I would like to think that they probably come out and play a lot better, especially knowing that they're going to get a lot of starts between now and the next couple of weeks.
Looking at Mark Stone, man, I thought he played quite well at the Olympics. Shea Theodore was fine. Mitch Marner obviously scored a huge goal for Canada. How does Marner fit in? And have they found, what do you think in an ideal world? What are the top 2 lines in Vegas when everyone's healthy?
I think the top 2 lines, when you look at everyone that's healthy, is Eichel, Barbashev, and I have to think about that, because I think ultimately what works best is Mitch Marner and Mark Stone. I think have developed such great chemistry, but you don't want to take Stone off that top line, because he and Eichel have just had great chemistry for the last couple of years. So there is that to factor in. And then Marner has been pretty much good, I think, with whoever they put with him, especially since they've had to move him to center in most aspects. So it'll be interesting to see, once everyone gets healthy, where those lines stack up. But in terms of where Marner is fitting in, I think he's fit in really well. He's been a very good addition to that locker room. All the guys seem to get along with him very well. I think it's a little bit more relaxed, obviously, compared to Toronto. And I think he's welcomed that, as far as maybe the media presence, as well as just having an overall environment in the locker room. I think he's been fitting in very well. It's been a very quiet point per game season for Mitch Marner, but you'd like to think coming out of the Olympics where he played, or I thought he played fairly well, that it's going to motivate him, especially since losing in the game the way that the Canadians did. I would expect for really all three Canadians on that roster to have a really big second half, and I think Mitch Marner is probably going to be the one to kind of spearhead that.
Danny, great stuff, man. We appreciate it. Enjoy the run here down the stretch, and we'll be talking to you a lot because Oilers and Vegas 3 times in the month of March and April down the stretch, which could ultimately decide first place in the Pacific Division.
Sounds good. Thanks a lot, Jason. Appreciate it.
You betcha. There's Danny Webster from the Las Vegas Review-Journal. And, hey, that Rasmus Anderson deal obviously helps them. You got Shea Theodore, McNabb, Hannafin, Anderson, and then you've got Korzak, Lazon, and Hutton kind of rotate around on their third pair. Pretty solid top 6 with Marner and Eichel and Stone and Tomas Hertl and Ivan Barbashev, Riley Smith probably. Oh, no, sorry. Dorofeev is their other top 6 guy. But the William Karlsson injury, that's a big blow to them. He's a really solid third-line center. I think Colton Sissons, if he's your fourth-line guy, you got an unreal center position. He can play the third line, but he's not William Karlsson. So I think that's a big blow for them. And that's why I still wouldn't rule out Vegas. Can never count them out at the trade deadline. They're always lurking. They're always looking to make some moves. And, they obviously, they've still got a decent amount of cap space. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if we see them look to go get a center between now and next Friday. So we'll see how it goes. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey guys, when do the Oilers and Vegas meet? Any of the games in Edmonton, I'd like to go. Yeah, 1 is in Edmonton, 2 are in Vegas. They're in Vegas on Sunday, the 8th, and Thursday, the 26th of March. And then Vegas comes to Edmonton on a Saturday night, the first Saturday in April, the 4th. So there you have it. Vegas, just like Edmonton, they have a really busy March, but their April, they only have 7 games in 7 games, I guess, in 15 days because they end their season on Wednesday, the 15th. Oilers end their season on the 16th. Oilers, unlike the previous few years where they had a lot of games condensed down the stretch. Remember they had the one where they played 6 games in the last 9 days of the regular season. That was brutal, but that didn't happen. So not this year. So much better schedule. Even coming out of this break for the Edmonton Oilers, they got 3 and 4 games, but you'll never be more rested than how the Oilers are outside McDavid. I get it. But even Draisaitl, he's had a week off. How often does he get a week off? And Anaheim's had some guys who played in the at the Olympics. They didn't go to the final. Jackson Clone was there, but didn't play. So, I think they'll be ready to roll. Dostal was there. He's good. Oilers probably are going to face Dostal tonight. And Darcy Kemper arrived home and, was with the Kings today, but they play back-to-back. I could see the Kings playing Forsberg on Wednesday and then giving Kemper an extra day and have him play Thursday. So, Edmonton's not going to have an easy get back into the swing of things as goaltending Dostal and Kemper potentially in Wednesday and Thursday nights. We'll come back. Jason Strudwick will join us. The Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Legacy Heating and Cooling offers no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. So, when you wake up to no heat, call Legacy. If you need it immediately with no overtime rates. If you need it immediately and want to combo it with AC. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. No payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. It could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Get the lowdown with Low Tide. Weekdays from noon to 2 on Sports 1440. He's seen it all and then some. From stats to stories, he breaks it down like no one else. Proud to be Edmonton's sports leader. Sports 1440.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit fountaintire.com today.
Who's that working on the underground utilities over there? All-Star Construction, that's who. What about the street lighting? Yep, All-Star Construction. And the directional drilling, hydrovacking, neighborhood renewal, and telecommunication work? Yep. Since 2009, All-Star Construction has been doing all that and more, shaping and building Edmonton communities for land developers all around Edmonton. That's what All-Star Construction is all about.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpots Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
The future of female hockey is here. It's season 2 of the Female Super League, the first ever female-only independent hockey division in Western Canada, with teams from British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. Featuring 16U, 14U, and 12U divisions, the FSL brings showcase weekends packed with thrilling games, and our 14U and 16U have been pioneering the advanced body checking rule, empowering young players. The Female Super League, where the best in female hockey takes center ice. Details at femalesuperleague.com.
Debt can take over your life. The stress, the constant worry, it can feel like you're drowning. When people come to see me, they're often anxious and feeling hopeless. But when I explain how I can help them get out of debt, those feelings melt away. I'm Parveen Middleton, licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Edmonton. I will create a personalized debt relief plan so you can move forward with confidence. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to discover your debt-free future.
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great. But you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium one-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular menu price. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's with a $6 one-top medium when you order any large specialty at regular menu price. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Did you know that Japa offers in-house and on-site heavy equipment service? Rain or shine, Japa's service department is here for you. Visit japamachinery.com for all the details.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by playalberta.ca.
We continue through a Tuesday afternoon. How are you as you make your way home? Maybe leaving the office. Take a little extra time. The good news. It's light out after 6 o'clock now. Oh, man. That's like when we can walk out of the building when the show's over and it's light out. That's when you start to feel good, baby. You know that spring is coming. It's awesome. Think about barbecuing, you know, maybe some frayed jean shorts in the ladies, little summer dress. Oh, fantastic. It's good times. Good times. 421. Hope you're having a lovely Tuesday. Let's get to Struds On, brought to you by Action Electrical as they celebrate 53 years in helping you. Project, service, solar, they do it all. ActionElectrical.net.
The Jason Gregor Show presents Struds On.
I don't believe in tea bags. I use loose leaf tea. It is so much better than the tea bags. I'll eat tea bags. I'll
Struds On.
I'm not a huge DJ guy. I mean, I guess if you had me a couple glow sticks and a tight white t-shirt that I can get wet, maybe I'd be into it.
Struds On.
There's a lone steakhouse I used to go to down in Kentucky, and they had bowls of peanuts. I wasn't sucking on those ones. You need to have clean nut. I'm talking about the kind you get in a bag at an Elks game. You know what I mean?
It's time for Struds On.
Strutty! How you doing, man?
I've got the Olympic blues, buddy. I'm not going to lie. I am missing it. I turned on my TV this morning. I'm like, why isn't this on at whatever, 5 or 6 in the morning? I'm missing it, bud.
That's fair. That is totally fair. Looking at the Olympics outside of hockey, what was the sport that you enjoyed the most?
I got into cross-country skiing, seeing that Norwegian guy, didn't see this tear the Olympics, a new one. He just put a clinic on. And I kind of watched a lot of those. They seem to be on in the morning when I would live, when I was getting up. He was unreal. I respect their athleticism, but the endurance to carry some of those out. Like I'm a very bad cross-country skier, but I go for an hour and I'm feeling the old pins. I can't imagine keeping that pace at the same time they do. Incredible athletes.
Yeah, he was what's he got? 11 gold medals now or 12. Like, he had 6 gold medals in one Olympics. Like, it's ridiculous. He could be in his own country, and he would have finished in the top 10 in medal because they count golds first. So that was pretty impressive, man. Like to dominate like that is that's you just don't see that very often, right? Like
you don't. And hearing the guys talk about him, like they said, I think it was our Canadian guys saying, I'm honored to compete against him, but I hate competing against him because he's so good. Mm-hmm. But he said he's very professional. Like the way he prepares, he's like a professional athlete, which, I don't know all the ins and out of, kind of more amateur athletes, but the way he prepares, like he was head and shoulders above everybody else. He was incredible. So yeah, it's tough because everyone's racing for second, but he's in the race this year. When you watch him run up a hill in skis, that the part where I was just and how he would just pull away from guys, like it was ridiculous. They're doing. I think it was the 50K, and he's got his teammate like right with him, and they're going there, and he's actually in second place. And they come to one of the final hills, and by the top of the hill, he's got like a 20-second lead. Like it's not a little bit; it is massive to just blow away. And you just watch him go up this, and his cardio is just, and how he's moving. Like obviously skiing, like every other sport, they've made advancements. They figure out how to do things better, but just. You watch him, and then you see the other guys like, oh, yeah, he's just different. It's like watching McDavid skate. Like, guys can't skate like him. No, they can't. And, I remember what you're talking about there because it's stride by stride. Yeah. He was catching and or pulling away from whoever was around him. Yeah. And these are the elitists of the athletes. Mm-hmm. And your comparison with McDavid is a really fair one. Yeah, so, yeah. Quickly, give me your thoughts on the Avs. Now, the Oilers and the Avs wouldn't meet until the third round, but Brett Kulak for Sammy Girard, man, I think this is a huge win for the Edmonton Oilers. For the Colorado Avalanche. Yeah, Sammy Girard is a guy I kind of had on my radar to be traded. He's a skilled player, a little bit smaller, but I think with Kulak now, they have another big body that can really skate well, has a lot of experience in the playoffs, obviously. But the real winner is the Pittsburgh Penguins. Like, let's give credit to Kyle Dubas with that trade. He gets a guy who he still has control for one more year, really skilled, moves the puck, and he gets a second rounder all in there as well. So, Kyle Dubas has shown in the past he's really good at kind of mixing things up and getting his teams back to contention. We haven't seen him yet put a team over the top, but man, when it comes to retooling or refueling, whatever you want to call it, Greg, give the man credit. He does a pretty good job of that. Yeah, well, we'll probably disagree a little bit. I don't love this trade for Pittsburgh. You're trying to make the playoffs, and I think you got the worst player in the trade who makes $2.25 million more. Like, that's a lot just to get a second round pick. Well, but I think he also have him for next year. I think he's a good little puck mover, right? I don't like that he's small. I don't love small defensemen unless their last name is Hughes. But he does move the puck pretty well. So I don't know if it's that massive a drop off. It's a different type of player for sure. But he's got an eye towards the future. So let's say the drop off is whatever, 10%, 50, whatever it is. But you add that second, and maybe you can flip that something later to add to his team. So, I think he's trying to, talk out of both sides of his mouth, where he's trying to make sure this team is competitive, but also look towards the future. And I think when it came to that, I like this move for Kyle, or for the Penguins. Yeah, I guess I look at the Penguins and I wondered though, when I see this move, Struddy, if they know that Crosby's maybe not, who knows? Maybe I'm totally wrong, but my first reaction was, Jesus, it's like you didn't make your team better today. Like Brett Kulak, especially in the playoffs, and I was looking up their number, like Brett Kulak in the playoffs is a better player. Better goals for against,
right? Plays bigger minutes. He's bigger, right? Like when 5'9" is one thing, Struddy, but Gerard might have the shortest stick in the league by about 6 inches. Like time and space is the one thing you want to take away when you're a defenseman, right? And so taller guys can take up more space, and then their time if they're reaching their stick. Well, this guy can't do that. And hey, he's a skilled NHL player, but to me, this shows me that Pittsburgh truly doesn't believe that they can go very far in the playoffs.
And I agree with that. And I think they're right. So I think he's trying to add assets, but still make it look like they're trying to win. He's in a tough spot. Whatever Sid has left, 2, 4, 5, whatever number of years he has left, when he leaves, there's not a lot there, right? Malkin will be gone. Letang will be gone. They have some youngish players they're good, but I don't know if there's a Sidney Crosby sitting there ready to be a number one center. So I think he's trying to reach on the fly, but I don't think they're going to win, the Stanley Cup this year. So I think he's trying to do it on the fly. And for that, I give him credit, because at the start of the year, I thought Pittsburgh would be a lottery team, lock it. And I've been proven wrong so far.
Yeah. Let's get to the, well, quickly give me your thoughts on watching that gold medal game and what went through your mind.
Well, they did everything except win the game, right? Like they were all over them. They were playing hard. They got a lot of chances. I mean, whether it's Celebrini, McDavid with breakaways, you've got a backdoor. McKinnon probably hits that 95 out of 100 times. There was a lot of things that happened. Even, Boldy splitting the top pairing for Colorado, and Devontae's and McCarr. Like those things, does it happen again? I'm not sure. But as I was watching the game, I'm like, can you not find more ice time for Reinhart? Reinhart's a guy who scored a lot of goals, scored some big goals. Unfortunately, Oilers fans, we know that. Could you not find him a few extra minutes? I think he was like 7.5 minutes in that final game.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Right. Man, I just look at Canada though, like you outchance him, dominate. And you just, frankly, like when a goalie allows a bad goal strategy, we rip on him. Defenseman gets walked, you rip on him. A forward misses a wide open net and it's like, oh yeah. I'm like, no, that is just as egregious. Like, I'm sorry. A goalie doesn't let, pucks coming at him, whatever, goes through him. You have a wide open net and you miss it. That's one of the worst plays ever in the history of the Olympics, man. I'm sorry. Like McKinnon cost his team the game there. Like they might not have won for sure, but guess what? You score there. Now they're chasing and you're ahead of the game. And you eventually lost 2-1. That would have given you a second goal. Now the U.S. might have tied it. We'll never know. But I guaranteed you that you weren't able to win right in that moment, because that's an empty net goal that you should score 1,000 out of 1,000 times. There's no excuse not to.
Yeah, and he's done it so many times. In fact, he did it earlier, right, on the power play. Yeah. He had that one that's caught by UC Soros. So that was a little bit further out, but that maybe makes it a harder shot. So, he did everything except win. And unfortunately, it's 4 years. These guys have to wait to try to redeem that. And for, quite a few of them, they may not be there. Like, is Sidney Crosby going to be there? I don't know. Drew Doughty, I don't know about that. Some of these other guys. So you might not ever get that chance to kick the U.S. like they kicked you, because, the U.S. is loving it. And I get it. Double gold in hockey, that's a big deal, man. Like, we'd be doing victory laps just like they are.
Oh, well, hey. And they should be celebrating. Don't get me wrong. I don't mind them celebrating. I question who they're celebrating with. I think you can't be immune to what's going on. And I'm sorry, when you're a pedophile protector, I have an issue. But look into the Edmonton Oilers, Struds. They, Kasperi Kapanen, just the guy can't catch a break. He seems to be catching ruts because now he's out. He's practicing again today, which is good. But it's like gets up to speed, gets nicked up. Gets up to speed, gets nicked up. It's just been a tough year for him.
I feel for him because the opportunity is there for him to become a full-time top 9 forward. Right? He's always flirted with it. He's had some good seasons. I know that. But they're giving him every opportunity to be that guy. Even a top 6 if you want to really break it down. And, every time he gets rolling, he has a step back. And that's hard because you can't solidify yourself as that guy if that guy's not playing and he isn't playing. So I really feel bad for him. I feel bad for the team because they need him. But on an individual level, this could be, it could make a big difference to him, contract-wise and location-wise of where he plays both this year and moving forward.
Jason Strudwick joins us. Struddy, I came up with a line. I was looking at all the Oilers lines and stuff because, there was 3 weeks of hockey. So And I'm a big fan of Josh Szymanski. I looked at the Florida and how they played. I looked at Canada's maybe their second most consistent line in the tournament was a line that no one thought would be a line, but you put Bennett and you put Wilson and you put Marchand. Up and down. Now, they got more skill than what Edmonton has, but they're up and down. They just play heavy. And they were effective. Podkolzin, Frederick, Szymanski. I think it can work.
Well, what that line was for the Canada is they had a clear identity of what they're supposed to do. Yes. And I think one of the challenges for the coaching staff of this Oilers team is getting players on a line that work together and it fits together and they have an identity. So what you're talking about is a clear identity line. Like that is as clear as you can be. We want you. You're big. You guys are all defensive responsible. You're going to get in the offensive zone and you're grounded pounding. So I'm willing. I'm like, yeah, let's try it. Let's see what it looks like because it's clear. This is what you guys are there for. This is what you're going to do. You've had Podkolzin's had a good year. Now you're pulling him off of Leon's line. Then you have to figure out I guess the center would be Szymanski in this trio, buddy.
Yeah, I have Szymanski playing the middle. Yeah, with Podkolzin and
then on the other side. So I'd be willing to try because that's a clear line. And I think a heavy line like that, I think there's value to it. But then it's clear, boys, we're getting the puck. We're going to chip it behind their D. We're going to get it. If we can carry it, great. But we're going to hold in their zone. Then you set the table for the next line. The next line is either Connor or Leon, most likely. So, yes, I would like to see that because they're having trouble right now getting identity in that bottom six.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's fair. Right. And then, you've got a line. Then I could play Henrique with Savoy. And I know some people are like, what are you talking about? Because I have Roslovic, Kapanen, and Draisaitl. And I play Henrique with Savoy because they're their best penalty killing duo. I looked up the numbers. Do you know Matt Savoy as a rookie has played the most penalty killing minutes of any order forward? And the second most, Adam Henrique. When they played together, they suppress shots at like a rate of 60. When they weren't on the ice, the Oilers gave up 64 shots per 60. They've been a good duo in the penalty kill. So I play them on the penalty kill. They're also on the second unit power play together. And because they're always together, Struds, it's easy to keep their line in the rotation, right? Because you're going to say, okay, these guys wrote. Now they go as a line again. So that's why I'm thinking you can have Henrique with Savoy. And I firmly believe that Adam Henrique can give you a little bit more offense than what he's given you through the first 40 games.
Oh, yeah, I think that's for sure. I'm wondering he's got some fresh legs now. But what you're talking about is familiarity, buddy. And I think that does make a difference. When you're with someone and you're playing with them regularly, you kind of get that familiarity. And now this is my guy, right? This is my guy. And then whomever they put as a third member of that trio, he knows, like, this is how these two guys play. I'm playing with them. This is what we're doing. But familiarity matters. And then I didn't play. I played some forward, but I played with a couple guys, Chris Simon and Korolev in Chicago. Korolev was their center, and he told us exactly how he wanted us to play. He recognized maybe the lack of skill on the other wing. My slide was pretty skilled, but he said, this is how we're going to have success, guys, and this is how we're going to play. And we played together for a handful of games, and we did pretty well because we were big, we liked to hang on the puck, we were fearless, and no one was going to touch our centerman. He could do whatever he wanted. So it was a lot of fun, and I liked that familiarity, and there was some consistency in that trio.
Yeah, that's very true. Hey, do you want to ask you, what did you make of like Makar and Taves on the Boldy goal as a defenseman? What didn't you like about that?
Oh, listen, when someone beat me wide, I'm like, okay, maybe they were faster. I could have taken a different line. But when someone split my D partner and I lose sleep over it. Like I really had a hard time. Now, Matt Boldy, I still don't think people understand how good he is. He is one of my favorite players in the league and has been. He's so strong. He's fast. And he kind of chips it up, and it's hard for the D-man. Like, who's taking this? Who's doing what? Someone had to get in front of his body. They did it. They couldn't close the door in time, and he's right through. Wide is one thing, but at least the guy is going wide. When he splits you, you lose sleep over it. That one was, I couldn't believe it happened to those two D-men in that moment in that game.
Yeah. It was, now, hey, good play by Boldy. I like the kind of juggling the puck up there. And, one guy looks, hey, is it bounced? Okay, he's going to get him. Then he doesn't get him. And it's a split second. I get all that. But, that was, that's a tough play for certain. Straight of the Oilers and the need for a second pair right shot defenseman. Then I can move Wallman back to the left side. I got a really good left side. And I don't really care about the salary cap right now. If I address it in the offseason, I can do it then. But I think the Oilers' number one need here in the next 10 days, has to be a second pair right defenseman. So I'm going to give you some guys. Now, Colton Parayko is at the top of my wish list, but I don't think it's feasible, cap and everything else. But Connor Murphy, Rasmus Ristolainen, Jonathan Kovacevic, or Zach Whitecloud. Who do you like?
Well, I love Zach Whitecloud.
Me too.
I've always liked him.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe he's in Calgary. I want my hair to grow back too, but I'm not sure that's going to happen, right? Like that's fairly optimistic that they're going to trade him. If they are, you're going to pay through your nose. And he's a good player. He was hitting a bit down there, and I think Vegas they've had a really good decor, and that's one of their successes of their whole team is that's that part of it. Now, as far as I'm going to take him off this because I don't think he can do it. Parayko is really good. Who was the second guy you said now?
I said
not Connor Murphy.
Connor Murphy, Rasmus Ristolainen, and Kovacevic are the other three.
Yeah, Ristolainen. What I like about him is he's big. He gets in the way and he clogs up areas. And I think if he was beside Wallman, I wonder what that partnership might look like. Now, he might not be playing with him, maybe be with Nurse. I don't know what that looked like, but I like the size. And I think that size does matter. Earlier, getting in the way, space, taking up, taking away other teams' time. So that is a guy I like. Is he UFA? He's UFA, isn't he?
Ristolainen has 1 year remaining on his deal. Kovacevic has this year plus 3 more, and Murphy's the one who's the pending UFA.
Okay. Which one do you like? I like Risto.
I like Risto, but I might like Murphy the best for a few reasons. The GM knows him very well. So you'll know right away, is this good personality? He knows his game. He was there for 5 years. So that helps. B, the Chicago freaking Blackhawks have the best penalty kill in the NHL. And you know who plays on the first unit, plays the majority of the minutes? Connor Murphy. Oilers penalty kill needs some help. He's a natural right shot guy. I think he can help your penalty kill because the Oilers starting I know everyone's, they need wingers and what they need to defend. They give up too many goals, point blank. So bring in some guys who can help there. And I'm, one or the other, Ristolainen and Murphy, it might come down to, who can I get it? Like, what do I have to give up less to get? Because I'm not sure there's a glaring advantage one or the other. My only concern with Ristolainen is he gets injured. That's my red flag is I don't want to pay pretty good price for a guy and then he's banged up again, right? This is his second triceps injury. And I know it's not a knee, but triceps pretty important. And, you look at his games played here recently, and that causes a little bit, he's played 19 games this year, 63 games last year, only 31 games the year before that. That's my concern for him. Is he breaking down?
No. Yeah, the triceps is a pretty random injury.
Yeah, he's done it twice.
It's pretty rare in hockey. You don't hear that often, right?
Yeah.
So I'm with you. Yeah, I've changed my position more to the D as well from a forward because of the way it's kind of gone in recent months.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And the other thing, Struds, I was big on, hey, Nugent Hopkins is a better center. And I agree he is, but he can't be your third line center because he's on your first unit power play and he's on your penalty kill. I watched the game in Calgary and I went through the shift chart. He can never really center the third line on a regular basis because he's on the penalty kill. Then he's on the power play. Oh, geez, now I'm trying to get the third line back in. So it doesn't really work there. I think when he's a third line center, he's off of one of those two special teams units. That's just how it's going to be. So, and they're not taking him off the power play. It's the best power play in the league, and he's a pretty good penalty killer. So I think it's better to get him as is just keep him on the line with McDavid. And then, if you can get a second pair right D-man and you still have something left to go out and get a veteran third line center, I'm all for it. But I make sure if I have to I got 2 bullets in the gun, right, for my trade gun, and it takes both bullets to get the second pair right D, I'm doing that before I get a third line center.
Yeah, and that makes sense. And I guess, you get that opportunity to add some depth, and that gives a little bit more space to guys like Regula and Emerson to not have to be regulars every night.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. And then, Regula and Emerson. Well, Emerson, I think, might be because he played my third pair with Wallman, right? Regula is not really in the equation for me. It's going to be Stastny and Emerson, right? That kind of rotate around. But then you got, I think it would probably be Emerson ultimately because he's a natural righty and he's pretty good on the PK. So, and even 5-on-5, his numbers, he's the one defenseman who's played the same minutes, same role, and his defensive numbers are way better than last year. So I've actually liked Emerson's season this year. I think he's just been steady, reliable. I haven't really noticed him much. He's not getting hit nearly as much this year as he was last year.
And that's a compliment for a fifth, sixth defense when no one notices you.
Yeah.
That's the best of the world. Trust me. Were you playing tonight? Good sign. You didn't see me. That's a good thing.
Strutty, before I let you go, I got Jay wanted to ask me this question. Hey, just curious if Strutty knows who's losing their hair quicker, him or Rashog. I saw him on the broadcast. It looks like Rashog might be ahead now. What does Strutty think?
Yeah, no, the snow is melting pretty quick on that mountaintop, isn't it?
Oh, you know what? You know what I thought of, Strutty? Wait till you see the trailer. Oh, for Toy Story 5. Oh my God.
Oh, no.
When they showed the trailer for Woody, I was like instantly, I'm like, oh my God, is this Strutty or is this or Shogger? Like, I was dying. Wait, I don't even know. I'm just going to wait till you see it and watch it because my son and I were watching it. And I watched it once because, Toy Story is great. And I watched this and I was like, oh my God, this is the greatest. I can't wait till it comes out because Strutty is going to be rattled. It's going to be so awesome.
Can't wait. I got to go check this out. I got to check this out.
You go check it out and then let me know what you think after you watch the trailer. Oh, it's awesome. Right. Okay, buddy. Have a good one.
Okay, guys. Thanks. Talk to you later.
There we go. It's Jason Strudwick. Oh, just think cons. I'll just give you a hint. What does Tyson Nash call it? Monkey butt? Oh my God. But it was, have you seen the trailer?
I mean, I saw the image of Woody balding.
Oh God. And where he's balding, it just reminded me of that day that Jack Michaels took a picture from above of Rashog. Shogger was so rattled. Oh my God. Jack Michaels and I sometimes when you start laughing, you can't stop laughing. Oh God, him and I were dying for a long time. It's pretty funny stuff. But when I saw that one, I'm like, I can't wait. Oh, I'll be all over it. That might be his new nickname. I might just call him Woody from now on. We'll take a quick break. We'll return to Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Your furnace is dead. It's time to replace it before winter crushes you. Legacy Heating and Cooling is practically there already.
Yeah, we're working in your basement. Doing a replacement. The work is so earnestly building your legacy.
With no payments and no interest for 1 year, you gotta call Legacy. Replacing your dying furnace before it's too late, that's how you build your legacy. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Need a new ride for road trips, errands, or just life on the go? Go Auto offers a massive selection with over 15,000 new and used vehicles to choose from. With over 70 locations across Western Canada, finding your next ride has never been easier. Whether it's a roomy SUV for the family, a sleek car for the open road, or a rugged truck for your weekend adventures, you'll find it here at a price you'll love. Explore thousands of vehicles today at goauto.ca.
It's the iconic Jasper Ave Patty Party. That's on the rocks. We're turning Jasper Avenue green.
Your 5-day St. Patty's Day party kicks off Friday at OTR.
With live entertainment every day.
Including the Feelin' Lucky burlesque show on Sunday.
Plus pipers, Irish dancers, and doors open at 9 a.m. on the 17th.
We got more green beer than Marco has fancy shirts. And trust me, that's a lot.
Lucky the Leprechaun will be there.
Will you?
It's the iconic Jasper Ave Patty Party. That's on the rocks. Next round's on me. Woohoo!
Big guests, bigger takes. Jason Gregor brings the names you know and the stories you don't. Weekdays, 2 to 6 on Sports 1440. Don't miss a minute of the action on Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440.
McValue meals are here. Get the McD's you love for $5 plus tax every day with your choice of a McDouble, Junior Chicken, or Chicken Snack Wrap with small fries and small fountain drink. All for just $5 plus taxes. Canadian restaurants. Product availability varies. Prices exclude delivery.
1 in 3 adults don't get enough sleep. The Brick is here to help with deals on your entire bedroom. Save up to 50% off clearance mattresses, 50% off beds when you buy any 3 matching pieces. Buy one, get one half price on Sealy memory foam pillows, and save $100 off any adjustable power base when you buy a mattress over $9.99. Plus, check out other incredible savings in every department. Some exclusions apply. Check out the Brick at South Common, West Edmonton Mall, North Side, and downtown.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Riverside Honda, 59 years and counting as St. Albert and surrounding areas' premier Honda and Can-Am dealer. It's your dream. Ride it at riversidehonda.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Port 48, welcome back. Connor Halley, Jason Gregor, Declan Kruger, of course, running things over on our YouTube chats. Say hi to the demon. Ask him a basketball question, get him fired up. Something about just tell him the Heat suck, and that'll get him really ramped up. If you want to have a little fun in the chat room, you can do that. In the meantime, let's get to 5 questions brought to you by The Brick. Where did you know 1 in 3 of you adults don't get enough sleep? So right now, The Brick, lots of opportunity to get a better mattress. 50% off clearance mattresses. Also, you can get a sofa. Maybe you need a good sleep in the sofa. $4.99 and up at The Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, Jason. Question number 1. The Oilers, 24 games left in the regular season. Let's say for top spot in the first, even second in the Pacific Division. How many of those games do you think they need to win?
So, if you look at what they're on pace for right now, because, in order, you need somebody to go, the Oilers, they're on pace, I think, for 90, I think it's 93, 94 points, and that's second. So I'll say if they get to McDavid's number of points, 97, which is 33. So I'll say if they can win 15 games, then that's enough to get second for sure, maybe first.
Yeah, that's kind of the number I had circled as well. I mean, geez, you'd love to get on one of those winning streaks we've seen in the last couple of years here, especially heading into the playoffs. There's some tough games, though. There's not too many games I look at and say easy win. They all have their challenges. So I'm going to go with you, 15, 16 in that range, I think would be big. Question number 2 for you. Who needs to step up on this Oilers team the most in those games for them to make a push into the Pacific's top spot?
Well, I'm not going to say the obvious guys because they've stepped up all year. So I'm going to do players that need it. I'm going to go Jake Wallman, Darnell Nurse, Tristan Jarry. Those are the 3, and maybe even in a reverse order, because those are the guys who play minutes, big minutes of guys, and the other guys who have played big minutes have produced, and your starting goalie's got to be better.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say Darnell Nurse for sure, and then goalie. Whoever it is, just a little bit closer, keeping them in those games. I think that would be a recipe for success. We know that if the usual suspects are going to raise their game and do what they do down the stretch, but yeah, a couple guys on the blue line, goalie, whoever it is, has to step up. Question number 3 for you. The IIHF saying the 3-on-3 OT format will not change at the Olympic Games. I know a lot of people didn't like it. Are you good with them keeping it the way it is?
No. It should change for the gold medal game. There is 0. If you want to do it for the other ones, I'd live with it. What? Name another sport that changes how the rest of the game is played for the last portion of the game. When they go to curling for extra ends, does it change? Right? So why are you changing in hockey? I would just go 20 minutes. I get why you have to do it in the quarterfinals. There's multiple games on the ice. Okay, I understand that. But in the gold medal game, no, there isn't. You have 20 minutes planned to play 3-on-3, so play 20 minutes of 5-on-5 and then go to a shootout. What's the problem?
Totally agree with you. I mean, geez, if it runs long, whatever. You're starting events before the opening ceremonies anyways. It's not like there's just magic rule where things have to be finishing at a certain point. But it wouldn't run long anyways, because as you mentioned, you're already scheduling the 3-on-3 20 minutes. You could make it 5-on-5. It doesn't change anything. And for the medal rounds, I would be okay with it. I would be fine with it doing for the bronze game as well as the gold medal game. But yeah, just like you said, no other sport does it. It's a little bit weird. Question number 4 for you. Flava Flav has offered to host the U.S. women's hockey team in Vegas after they won gold. From what I've seen, it looks like they've accepted. If you could party with one celebrity in Las Vegas for one night, who would you pick?
Am I are we picking like right now today? Like if I'm going to Vegas tomorrow?
Yeah, right now today.
Okay, so that changes things because could I rip it up for a night? Yeah. Could I do it for 2 nights in a room? Maybe. I'm not sure. It'd be great. Definitely not 3. So I'm probably looking for a different type than when I was younger. So I'm gonna go with the guy who, because I think I could have, has a good array of good restaurants, so we can get into any restaurant, right? Can have some fun, pretty talented dude, but I think would have really good stories. I'm going Matt Damon.
Yeah, that'd be a good one. I also kind of factored in age a little bit here. I thought at first like Morgan Freeman because he just could tell you stories forever, but that's, I'm not that old yet. Give me Snoop Dogg. We'll hang around with Snoop and his crew for a little bit. Similar to Matt Damon, you're going to get in anywhere with Snoop, and it'd be a good time. So that's probably the route I would take. Final question for you. I was looking on this day in history, and multiple times, the Academy Awards have fallen on the 24th of February. So when you go and look at the Academy Awards for Best Picture, of the winners, what would you say is your favorite movie?
Go ahead.
So many good ones as I scroll through here. For me, when people ask me what my favorite movie is, it's one that I always have to bring up. I would go Gladiator with Russell Crowe. I still haven't seen the second one, but for me, Gladiator won it in the year 2000, and that would be my pick.
It's a good pick, man. Trying to think who's won. God, well, there was a run there in the 90s where you had like Schindler's List, Silence of the Lambs, Dances with Wolves, Forrest Gump, Braveheart. Like, what a run, man. So I still might go with Forrest Gump. I love that movie, man. It was unreal. So now, going back, Cons, if I was younger, I'd want to go party with it. Let's say like this is 25 years ago. So they'd be similar age to me. I'd want to go with Elizabeth Hurley because she's a great wingman. So if you're there and you're having a party and you're partying with Vegas, right? And all of a sudden, because I experienced this once in my life, with the group, and all of a sudden, like you're with the super attractive woman, all the other women are like, well, who's this guy? What's going on here? What's happening? So Elizabeth Hurley, plus she'd be funny and pretty sexy. So, but she'd be the ultimate wingman. I can tell you that.
Trying to think. Austin Powers is what I know her from, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But think about that run of films in the 90s that I listed. Like, honestly, like you look at some of the best films lately, like just a wide array. So 1990, you had Dances with Wolves. 91 was Silence of the Lambs. Now I'm looking it up because I don't remember the years. Unforgiven was in 92. I forgot them. Schindler's List, Forrest Gump, Braveheart, The English Patient, then Titanic, right? Then you had a few years. Then American Beauty came in the final year. And there's movies that didn't win. Good Will Hunting, Saving Private Ryan, Fargo, Pulp Fiction, 4 Weddings and a Funeral, The Fugitive, Scent of a Woman, Hoo-yah! Like A Few Good Men. God, that was like the 90s had some sick films, man. Now, you look at 2000s, Gladiator, A Beautiful Mind, Chicago, Gangs of New York Lost. That was a sick movie. Lord of the Rings, $1 Million Baby, Crash, The Departed, No Country for Old Men, great movie. Slumdog Millionaire, fantastic movie. The Hurt Locker, pretty good.
That's a good 5-year run for me.
Yeah. So like, then you go into like, they had a run of Argo in 2012, 12 Years a Slave in 2013, Birdman. I didn't really like Birdman, just for me. Spotlight, Moonlight, The Shape of Water. Like, it kind of changed a little bit. Like Parasite. I watched Parasite. Like, it's kind of annoying. Like I don't know. It just seems like it's changed maybe a little bit into what kind of look that they're looking for. Because those are some like movies that you would watch over and over again because they're that good. So Like, I don't know. I wouldn't. Parasite's not a movie where I'm like, oh, I'm going to go watch that again. Right? Like, I watched it once. I thought it was good. Like The Shape of Water. No, I'm never watching that movie again. Like, you couldn't pay me to watch that movie again. Anybody out there is like, oh, what do you want to check out? Shape of Water. Let's go watch it again. Like, has anybody in humankind other than the people in the movie said that? Just be curious. Anybody? Are you a big fan of The Shape of Water? Like, that's one of your movies that I'd want to watch again and again?
I haven't seen it once.
No, okay.
There was a run of Academy Award winning movies that I have not seen. Maybe not a surprise. Parasite ran a little long for me. I did watch it.
Like,
but
Parasite
again,
was really good.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be a movie that I'd watch over and over again.
It's not Braveheart where you're like, I'll sit down and watch this again.
Yeah.
Or No Country for Old Men. The Departed I've watched tons of times. $1 Million Baby, classic. I would agree with you. I think like the 2000s, the 90s had some really good runs, and it's like they went more artsy as of late. Oppenheimer, I guess, would have been that summer blockbuster that did win a couple of years ago.
Yeah, fair. But man, that was that 90s run, man. I totally forgot about that till you showed that question. I had to look it up. Like, whoo, sick run.
Who do you think wins this year? Bugonia, F1, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, The Secret Agent, Sentimental Value, Sinners, and Train Dreams.
Well, who do I think? Well, I don't know who's going to win Sinners I might pick.
I've heard it's great.
Oh, it's really good. So, really good. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, Spec will join us from Anaheim, talking about the Oilers. Who's going to be in the lineup tomorrow night? Some people might have jumped the gun suggesting McDavid is out. The Oilers only have 12 healthy forwards. Captain's not playing tomorrow. They could go 11-7, but I think we'll see 97 in the lineup. Just my hunch. Let's get to the con man and a sports 1440 update brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Spring is coming, baby. And so are the Corvettes. Come see the vets inside Northgate showroom and get 0% financing. See more at northgategm.com.
The Sports 1440 update.
Colorado Avalanche have acquired defenseman Brett Kulak from the Pittsburgh Penguins in exchange for defenseman Samuel Girard in a 2028 second-round pick. Kulak has 1 goal, 8 helpers in 56 games with the Penguins and Oilers. Meanwhile, Dallas Stars forward Mikko Rantanen will miss at least the next 2 weeks, possibly longer, than injury he suffered playing for Finland. In the WHL, Oil Kings taking on the Tigers down at Rogers Place. Puck drop 7 o'clock. In the AJ, 2 games with Whiteport in Drayton Valley and Calgary hosting the Kodiaks. In the association tonight, Toronto Raptors taking on the OKC Thunder. Tip off at 5:30. We've also got the Knicks, Cavs, Nets host the Mavs, Sixers taking on the Pacers, Warriors in New Orleans, Blazers host the Timberwolves, and the Magic taking on the Lakers. From the NFL today, Atlanta Falcons GM Ian Cunningham informing Kirk Cousins that the team would release him on the first day of the league year. If the Falcons release Cousins next month with a June 1st designation, they'll save $2.1 million in salary cap. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet and Derek Van Diest from NHL.com. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great. But you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium 1-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular menu price. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's with a $6 1-top medium when you order any large specialty at regular menu price. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Legacy Heating and Cooling offers no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. So, when you wake up to no heat,
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
if you need it immediately with no overtime rates, if you need it immediately and want to combo it with AC,
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. It could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Want to invest in Alberta's workforce, fill your talent pipeline, and get funding? Careers. The next generation connects employers with motivated, pre-vetted youth through funded internships. Easy, impactful, and risk-free.
When you work with a group like Careers who have experience in that area, they can demystify and navigate all the complex steps and stakeholders that have to be involved.
Visit careersnextgen.ca today.
Edmonton's only 24-hour-a-day sports radio station can be heard anytime, anywhere. Sports 1440 is streaming on your phone, your tablet, your computer. Download an app today and listen to Sports 1440.
Who's that working on the underground utilities over there? All-Star Construction, that's who. What about the street lighting? Yep, All-Star Construction. And the directional drilling, hydrovacking, neighborhood renewal, and telecommunication work? Yep. Since 2009, All-Star Construction has been doing all that and more, shaping and building Edmonton communities for land developers all around Edmonton. That's what All-Star Construction is all about.
You're listening to the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
And here comes Action Electrical Service Team sprinting onto the scene. These are your first responders for any electrical emergency.
That's right. With their fleet of service vans and specialized gear, they assess, they service, and maintain electrical lighting and automation systems. They're all about rapid response.
Quick diagnostics and repairs to restore power and safety fast. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Portions of this hour brought to you by CanTorque. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at CanTorque.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Just after 5 o'clock. Oh, hey, if you're coming out of your slumber post-Olympics, maybe you're like, you know what, I just missed my hockey team. Well, the Oilers are back in action. Tomorrow, the NHL resumes with 8 games on a Wednesday night schedule, and then they will have 10 on Thursday. Edmonton will be playing, 12 on Thursday, and Edmonton will be playing both nights, and there's 13 games on Saturday. Oilers playing then as well in the afternoon. Welcome back. It is the Gregor Show, presented by our title sponsor, PlayAlberta.ca, where you can get in the games, whether it's lottery, instants, casino, sports, live dealer, all in one place at Alberta's only regulated online gambling website, where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province at PlayAlberta.ca. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. That's where you can text us as we get to the spec report, brought to you by GS Construction, your underground infrastructure specialist. And you can look for over 50 years. They are looking for experienced top men, pipe layers, operators. If you're looking for a career, gsconstruction.ca/careers. As Mark Spector joins us from Anaheim. Spec, how you doing?
Doing okay. Nice to be in a hockey dressing room again today. Kind of getting back to work a little bit here. Don't ask me what the lines are. They didn't run lines at practice. But McDavid's coming in tonight, expected to, and we'll take a morning skate tomorrow.
He's playing.
I think he'll play too.
Yeah, 100%. So he'll play with Hyman and Nugent Hopkins, and Draisaitl, probably Roslovic and maybe Podkolzin, or maybe this boy. We'll see. But I know you talked to Frederick and Mangiapane today, Spec, and the Oilers are still trying to trade Mangiapane. Yeah, they never stopped. That's not a new story. And Mangiapane, I think, is aware of this. When I talked to him a while back, Spec, and hey, sometimes it doesn't work. And you know what? he'd probably my understanding is he's open to a change of scenery at this point.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't come out today and say, trade me out of here. That's for sure. In fact, he said he'd rather stay. But you know what? I mean, players, it's a tough spot to put a player in. Like if he comes out and says, yeah, I can't wait to get out of here. That's not good for business. And it's bad in the room. And so he's doing what good teammates do, right? That's all he's doing. You know, it's hard. I mean, maybe I'm getting older and softer here, but both Trent Frederick, you've gotten to know Trent Frederick. Like he's an awesome guy.
Oh,
he's
yeah.
He's had a horrible year. There's no doubt, but he's an awesome kid. And Mangiapane is a good guy too, and it ain't working, man. You know what? Both guys, I think the similarity, Jay, was both guys tried to just get away from hockey during the break and kind of take a mental reset, which is probably what they should do, and come back and hope they can, what do we got here? Basically 24 games to make something out of this season for those two guys. And that's the goal of each one of them.
Yeah. And like, I look at Frederick and, I look and say, okay, like, you know what? What's the realistic expectation? To be a third line guy who can crash and bang and bring some energy. Like, I still think he can be that player.
I do too. It can't be that hard, but it's not like he hasn't, it's not like he hasn't considered that. It's not like he hasn't thought, hey, why don't I do this? Like, he's just a guy looking for a role. He just wants a role, and it's his fault. Like, make a role. They don't just give you roles. Like, I talked to Knobloch afterwards, and he kind of raised two perspectives about helping these guys. I said, what's the coach's role in helping these guys salvage their season? And he says, well, it is my job to find those guys a foothold, find them a place to feel good about and put them in a position to succeed. But he said the other thing is you start just giving away ice time to guys who hasn't earned it, and that ice time comes at the expense of guys who have earned it, right? So that's the coach's conundrum is, you can't just hand ice time to some guy your GM acquired who isn't earning it. So really it's on the player. It's always on the player to force your coach to keep throwing you over the boards. And those two guys had a hard time with that this season.
Yes. But here's the thing. You have a 3-week break and you kind of just start from scratch and go ahead.
Oh yeah. And Frederick's got a good sense of humor. He says, this is such a great team. The guys treat you the same as if you're the MVP or if you're the LVP. And I'm thinking, what does L stand for? Oh yeah, it stands for least.
Yeah.
So hey, he's just a guy trying to find his way here, and it hasn't gone well. And there's, I've said this before in the show, Jay, at this level, there's a lot of pride. Like guys, they don't want to, no one wants to be the guy that's got 3 points at this point in the season. So it's got to be playing with his mind and messing with his confidence. And hopefully for his sake, he'll figure it out. But it's not an easy, I'm not saying it's anyone else's fault but Trent Fredericks, but it's not an easy spot to be in nonetheless.
Yes. Kasperi Kapanen, any idea what happened?
No. And he was skating. He's skating great. I practiced today. Good speed, firing pucks, looking good. But the minute they started into battle drills, he came out and he did not take part in them.
Okay.
So what does that tell you? I don't know what it tells you, but his speed's good. And there's something going on where he's not going to exert himself in a battle drill right quite yet. They're still on the Knobloch still saying 2 games, but we know what that's worth in this town.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the 2 games, if you're not taking contact today, well,
2 games could be 2 weeks.
Yeah, because you're not playing tomorrow. You're not playing Thursday. Friday, they're not practicing. So, when are you going to get in? Now, who knows? Maybe it's, you know what? You never know. Did he have, and I have no idea what could have happened, but that would, if you're all not doing contact, something that tells me that's a core injury usually. So,
yeah, probably.
Well, see, he's just, he's had some bad luck. Because God, when he's healthy, he's been a really good player for Edmonton this year.
He has, and for a guy you picked up off waivers, he's been, the time he spent in Edmonton last year was very valuable. He was a good player in the playoffs, scored a huge goal, helped almost every night. And this season, like you say, when he's played, he's been great. But it's one of those years for him for captain. I mean, Wallman's the guy that's been hurt a lot too, and whose fault? You can't blame guys for being hurt, but it's a drag when you can't count on a player because the minute he gets going, he's on the DL, right?
Yeah, well, yeah. Wallman's a guy who's got to get going, though, Spec. They need him. Like Connor asked us the question before the break, who are the guys who have to step up? And to me, I name Nurse, Wallman, and Jari. Because, I'm not saying Bouchard or Hyman. Those guys have stepped up. They played well. And David and Draisaitl, Nugent Hopkins. So I go to guys who play a lot of minutes, who aren't playing up to their or aren't doing enough. And so those are the guys for me. Anybody for you, do you think has to step up?
Well, those three guys, because you make the best point. They play a lot of minutes, so they got to play well.
Yes.
That's the most important. And then after that, I'm looking at depth guys. I'm looking for, I don't know how long Mangiapane is going to be around, but I'm looking for him. I'd like to see Savoy take a little bit bigger bite here down the stretch run. Janmark's got to appear because he's been a ghost all season. It takes a whole team to win, right? It takes a whole. I think we've seen this enough in our town. You don't win with 6 good players, So the top guys are doing okay around here, but it's the rest of the group that's got to figure it out.
Yes, 100%. Looking at a few other things. You're in Anaheim, Spec, and I don't know if you if their practice facilities where the Oilers practice or not. I'm not sure, but I look at the at this Anaheim Duck team. I'm kind of fascinated to see what Pat Verbeek's going to do.
Yeah, I think that I think we were talking yesterday. I think it's a moment in time for this Anaheim team to make the playoffs. They're right in the race. They've had all their years of missing. They've built a good team. They're starting to figure some stuff out. They got Quenneville's a top flight coach. I think it's time. It's time for this team to take a step. I think the GM is looking at his lineup and saying, I owe these guys to add to the roster at this deadline. They can't be trading people away. They can't be a seller. They got to add. They got to try to make this thing work. It's an interesting time down here, Jay. You've been to this rink. They've embarked on I don't know what it is. Is it 200 million? Is it 500 million? There's so much building going on around this rink right now.
That's crazy, isn't it?
I don't know. I didn't know where to park. I didn't know where to drive. There's trucks. There's huge cement. They're building a city around this rink. So, as it gets going in the next year, 2, 3 years, maybe so too will that team, right? Maybe this team in 3 years will be a Stanley Cup contender. Right now, they look awfully good. Now comes the hard work to get over the top.
Yeah, well, they've got lots of good young players in Anaheim. I don't think anybody can debate that. All right, you look. Now, have you heard anything on one of the Leo Carlson? Is he going to play tomorrow?
I haven't heard a thing. They practiced across town in Irvine.
Okay, because he's still on IR. Now they could wait right until after the skate, and I understand that to activate him.
Henrique's still on IR. He doesn't come off till tomorrow, right?
Yeah, well, it's because he's on LTIR, and the reason you wait until then is because he's on LTIR. You have some freak capping an injury, right? Pull him up. So what happens if they would have pulled Henrique off of because the Oilers aren't in LTIR, they're actually accruing cap space. That's why Savoy's in the minors, but he's still on LTIR. And if let's say they would have activated him yesterday, it doesn't change anything because he just goes out of LTIR. But then let's say Spec, I don't know, he twists his ankle in warm up, right? Or sorry, in the morning skate. Well, now he's hurt for a week, but you don't have any space. He counts on your cap because he's on IR. So that's why teams always wait to activate guys from LTIR after the morning skate or that afternoon before the game, because then it's hey, if he gets hurt in a game, he gets hurt in a game. It's nothing we can do. But you don't want to freak injury to somehow derail you, because let's say Adam Henrique for fun was taken off. He got hurt in the morning skate. Well, now they're down to 11 forwards and they don't have any cap space. They couldn't call anybody up. They could put him back unless it was an injury that put him back on LTIR. But if it was just, twist his ankle, he's out a week. Well, now they're screwed. So that's why they always wait.
All right. And they'll call Savoy up officially tomorrow as well.
Yes. Yeah. Because of the cap space, they had to keep him on there an extra day to accrue cap space. So now they can fit him in. That's how close they are to the cap. And I do wonder, they might just wait, but man, I'd like to see Josh Szymanski back here sooner than later. That's just me. I know you said give those guys 3 games to maybe see, and maybe they will, but man, there's a few guys, Spec, who have to be looking over their shoulder here. I think Chris Knobloch has given me, Matthias Janmark, good soldier, has done a lot for the team, good teammate, all that stuff. But at some point, the coach is like, I need some results. I think that's where he's at. I'm going to be fascinated to watch Janmark's, not only his ice time, but his spot in the lineup once Kapanen and these other guys are healthy to see if he's a regular. Because I'm not sold he's going to be a regular anymore.
Well, all of this is going to coincide with the addition of players at the trade deadline, likely. Like, for instance, do you end up just trading Mangiapane for nothing and attaching a draft pick to him? In which case, you just lose a player, nothing comes back, and Szymanski walks into that spot, right? Maybe that's what you do. What else is going to happen at the trade deadline here in terms of people coming in? You know, it's I don't know how he's going to pull this off, because I just wrote a piece today about sort of Frederic and Mangiapane and the second consecutive July 1st that they're digging out of it here at the deadline. That's what they're doing. Bowman's digging out of his July 1st, and I don't know how it's going to work. I don't know how many assets they're willing to give up to make things work, but he's really he doesn't have any cap space to bring good players in. He's got to go cap space out, and I'm not sure how that's all going to go down.
Yeah, that's it's one where hey, that's the GM's job. This is where you make your money over the next 10 days, right? Like, Bowman and them have been very good at the low end deals.
Yes, they have.
Podkolzin, excellent. Roslovic, excellent. Ty Emberson, solid acquisition. Szymanski, found him for nothing. But you mentioned Arvidsson and you mentioned Skinner, all those, Skinner's not even signed. I don't think he's even in the NHL. So they just, they bet wrong at a time. Buffalo bought him out and they thought he had something left. He didn't. Arvidsson's been all right. Although Arvidsson, guess what? I watched Boston again, Spec, before the break, and I'm like, why isn't he? Where's the Zamboni? Arvidsson suddenly is not falling down. It's such a weird thing. I don't get it, because I know that's why I remember seeing I don't recall this guy falling down this much in LA and Nashville, but I don't know what happened. And now Frederic and Mangiapane. So that obviously hasn't worked, on the bigger deals, and they got to find a way. Now Frederic, I still think there's time to salvage. Mangiapane just won't, because what he's making, they got to make some moves, so he's going to be out. But they got to hope that they can salvage Frederic, and this is just a bad 56 games. And he maybe starts to come on like Connor Brown did a few years ago.
Ooh, yeah. I mean, sure. That's the hope. Listen, that's what the difference is between the two guys. Mangiapane, who'd love to stay, he says, I'll take him at his word. He's looking at being moved on any day here. Not Frederic, right? Frederic can buy a house around here, man, if he hasn't already, because he's not with 7 years left after this one. They're not moving him. He's not getting moved. So he needs to find his game. He's still a young man, Frederic, right? He's still a young player, and he's got lots of time left in his career. There's whatever has to happen, he's got to get control of this thing, because it's going to be a long life living in a Canadian city, being a point per month player. That's not any fun for anybody.
Yes. No, that is very,
he did mention that he doesn't listen to our radio show or read my copy, so that's probably good.
Yeah. Well, hey, I think we've been fair on Frederic. I was one who thought I didn't mind the signing at all. Now the term I didn't like, but even if it's only a 4-year deal right now, that'd be irrelevant. It's people are mad at the term. I'm like, no, it's the fact he's just not playing well. If he was signed to a 4-year deal right now, that wouldn't make this season any better.
No, it wouldn't, but it would. Let's face it.
No, because you're worried about stuff that's irrelevant down the past. If he was bad this year, he'd still be bad this year, whether he had 4 years left or 8. I know because what if he recovers next year? That's my point. It's been a bad year. It's not the term that's the problem. It's the year right now that's the problem. And he's got to find a way to salvage it down the street. Because I'll say this, Spec, if he plays okay and then scores 2 or 3 big goals in the playoffs, guess what? You can salvage a season with a really good playoffs. Connor Brown proved it.
Absolutely. I mean, this is the finding of confidence. The guy's got to find some confidence, and he can't find it. Every time he tries to fight, he gets, not every time, but he tries to fight Olivier, he gets the hell beat out of him. That was great for the team, but that doesn't give you any confidence getting beat up. Then he doesn't fight when Carlo hits McDavid, and that didn't work out so well. They scratch him the next game. He just can't figure out, when he goes left, he should have gone right. He hasn't made the right. It's just not working for him, man. Every decision he makes is the wrong one. Something's got to turn for the kid. He's like I say, he's a good kid, and he works hard, and he's not fat and lazy, and he's doing all the right things. At some point, the sun's got to shine on that dog's rear end at some point, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's true. Spec, enjoy Anaheim. We will chat with you tomorrow.
Hey, sounds good, Jay.
There you go. That is Mark Spector, the Spec Report brought to you by GS Construction. We'll return. DVD joins us. So we got a lot of text flying in, 833-401-1440. Tomorrow, we're going to have fun on the show. We're going to have lots of interaction with our audience, and we'll get to that, tell you about it. It involves the orders and your thoughts. So maybe you can play GM, maybe you can play prognosticator, maybe both. We'll do that tomorrow on the show. Let's get to DVD here on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Mr. Rooter gets a colonoscopy. All right, Mr. Rooter, just relax. We're almost finished.
Now, what am I looking at on the screen?
That's your large intestine.
Wow, the pipes of the human body. Incredible. This is just like when we use a camera for sewer inspection, except you probably don't find tree roots.
You'd be surprised what we find.
You know, once I found a bunch of Hot Wheels.
Hey, me too.
For a plumber who values healthy pipes, call Mr. Rooter.
1 in 3 adults don't get enough sleep. The Brick is here to help with deals on your entire bedroom. Save up to 50% off clearance mattresses, 50% off beds when you buy any 3 matching pieces. Buy one, get one half price on ceiling memory foam pillows, and save $100 off any adjustable power base when you buy a mattress over $9.99. Plus, check out other incredible savings in every department. Some exclusions apply. Check out The Brick in South Common, West Ed Mall, North Side, and downtown.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpots Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
The future of female hockey is here. It's season 2 of the Female Super League, the first ever female-only independent hockey division in Western Canada, with teams from British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. Featuring 16U, 14U, and 12U divisions, the FSL brings showcase weekends packed with thrilling games, and our 14U and 16U have been pioneering the advanced body checking rule, empowering young players. The Female Super League, where the best in female hockey takes center ice. Details at femalesuperleague.com.
Want sports talk on the go?
You can listen to 1440 on the AM dial or stream us on your mobile device through apps like Radio Player, iHeart, and Stingray Music.
Edmonton sports fans,
turn to Sports 1440.
1440.
McValue meals are here. Get the McD's you love for $5 plus tax every day with your choice of a McDouble, junior chicken, or chicken snack wrap with small fries and small fountain drink. All for just $5 plus taxes. Canadian restaurants. Product availability varies. Prices exclude delivery.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows. Locally manufactured and installed, Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$5:26 as we continue on Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you are having a lovely, lovely day. NHL is back tomorrow with 8 games, including the Oilers and the Ducks. I'm expecting Connor McDavid to play tomorrow night for the Edmonton Oilers. And hey, as we saw at the Olympics, McDavid can get you a lot of points in 15 or 16 or 17 minutes if need be. So I wouldn't be overly concerned about it. I don't think they're going to overplay him, but I think he will play. And away they go. You know what? 3 and 4 isn't ideal, but then they only play one in the next 5 days. So that's a nice little break. After that, probably take a few days off of practice and such. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. It is the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. That's Regan, Texas. Or call us with your thoughts as we welcome in from NHL.com, Derek Van Diest, DVD. How you doing?
Good. How are you doing today?
Oh, I am pretty good. I look at a few things. You're a big soccer guy.
Mm-hmm.
And soccer at their big events, you know what? They get to overtime, and then eventually they have a shootout because you can't play forever.
Yeah.
And like I know the IHF today said they weren't going to change the 3-on-3 overtime. I just don't understand. Like, I can actually understand why they do it in quarterfinals because they got multiple games on the ice, so they got to do it. But I really see no reason why you have to do. I would go 20 minutes of 5-on-5 in the gold medal game. I see no reason why you can't do it.
No, I agree. I don't see a problem with that either. 20 minutes, 5-on-5, and then cut it down to 3-on-3. I have no problem. I know that they wanted to have that gold medal ceremony and everything wrapped up before the closing ceremony.
Yeah, and it still would be. Yeah, it still would have been because remember they have planned 20 minutes of 3-on-3. Now we all knew it would never do that, but it didn't happen. So
I know you can. Everyone knew the rules going in, though, Jason. Like, everybody knew, and it's not the great way to decide a gold medal. You're right. But, you look at the way things broke down. Canada probably should have won that game in regulation. That game should never have gone in overtime, just the way Canada played. But, it's a time constraint thing. It's the same thing in soccer. There's always been the argument. Argentina won the World Cup in a penalty shootout. I don't think anyone in Argentina is complaining about that. That's just the rules. The Dutch knew the rules. France knew the rules. Argentina knew the rules. That's just the way it is. It's you can't play forever. I know in the NHL you can go on, and especially in the playoffs, and that's proper. That's the proper way to kind of win a game. But unfortunately, everyone knew the rules going in, and when you're the better team, as Canada was in that final, you don't want that game going overtime because then a break or a mistake or a bad goal cost you the gold medal. So, and I think that's what I was thinking when that game was winding down. I'm like, Canada does not want this game to go in overtime. They don't want to, play on the edge of a cliff. But that's the way things go. And, it's better than a shootout. It's better than, remember when they lost in 98 and there was a shootout. It's better than that, I think. Just keep playing until someone scores a goal, even if it's 3-on-3. So, it's for TV, time constraints, other events, whatever going on. Those were the rules, and we'll see. We'll see if the NHL lobbies or someone lobbies to change them. We'll see what happens with that.
Looking ahead now, the Oilers, and obviously, hey, Captain Obvious, they got to end the losing streak, 3-game losing streak against some teams they shouldn't have lost to. Now they come out, they got Anaheim nipping at their heels. Kings aren't far back. Neither are the Sharks. They play all three of them in 3.5 days. You know what? They need their defensive game, their penalty kill, their goaltending has all got to step up. Offense, I don't really worry about the offense. They've been a good offensive team for years. So, they might have a game or two, sure, but overall they'll score. To me, I just look at their defensive game goaltending. Is there one thing for you or one player that you feel, okay, this is the guy who's got to be infinitely better?
Well, I think Darnell Nurse falls into that category. He's got to be more consistent. I think this is a guy that we know that he's got a high end and he can play at that high end, but he just doesn't do it enough, in my opinion. And he's got to be better. So you look at the back end, Nurse has got to be better. Wallman's got to be better. Wallman said that himself. I was down at practice earlier last week, and he said, "Yeah, I got to be better. We gotta play better as a team." So I think defensively, Bouchard's got to play more consistent, better defense. He's okay on the offensive side of the puck, but defensively sometimes it's just absolutely brutal. Some of the giveaways or misreads or bad plays he makes in his own end. So he's got to step it up. And but Matthias Ekholm is coming around, I think. He's not the same player that we saw 2 years ago, but he's getting older and he's coming off some injuries. But I think this rest probably did him wonders. Sweden probably did the Oilers a favor by not taking Ekholm to the Olympics. So now he had time to spend with his family and relax and get healed up and get ready for a good stretch drive here. But on the back end, individually, you have to be better. And then goaltending, Tristan Jarry, they were brought in here to make the big saves. And early on, he was doing that, making the big saves. And now he's not so much in this last little while. So he's got to be a lot better than he's been. So, as a team, as a whole, they got to play better defensively. They got to be better on their own end. And they got to do the little things. They weren't breaking up the cycle. They weren't getting the puck out on the first opportunity. And I think those are the things that they got to go back to doing.
Derek Van Diest joins us. Can Trent Frederick salvage his season?
I think so. If he has a good last little stretch here, and then he becomes a really effective player in the playoffs. And I know this is an unfair comparison, but I think the owners thought Trent Frederick might be there, Tom Wilson, and he's not there yet. Tom Wilson is an incredibly effective player. He gets the game. He's physical. He can score. He can do all these things. But you look at like the physicality of Trent Frederick, you look at the skill set there, and you're thinking, okay, he might be our guy. He might be that guy for the Edmonton Oilers, and he hasn't been that guy. And I just think part of the problem is he doesn't read the game well. He doesn't read situations well. He's not sure when to go in, when to mix it up, when to not mix it up, when that kind of – he does – it seems like the game's flying by, and he's kind of on there with blinders. And you can't teach that. You have to have those instincts, and I think that's the one thing – with him, and things aren't going well, and he's in and out of the lineup, and the coach is telling him one thing, and he's trying to play another way. And I think for him, he's got a chance here if he goes out and is that physical player. And if I was the coaching staff, I would have said, look the way Tom Wilson plays, watch the way he plays, watch the way he goes into he knows when to go into a scrum, when to stay out of a scrum. He knows when to grab a guy by the scruff of the neck. And I think the owners envisioned, okay, this guy could be our version of him, but he's not there yet. But I think if he has a good 20-some games here and has a solid playoff, he could be able to salvage a season. He's not going anywhere. They signed him for 8 years, so he, make himself comfortable. He's got to find his role on this team, and he hasn't done that yet.
Yeah, well, you know what? And hey, maybe it's sit in the third line spot and just play a physical game up and down, get your 12 minutes, 13 minutes, and away you go. And I think Frederick's got to be a guy who's like, hey, what can I do more? I think he's just got to get a little bit more intensity and nastiness to his game, right? Like get more emotion. But I'm not saying fight Olivier, for goodness sakes. I'm just saying, be more aggressive, be more physical, like get into a scrum, face wash a guy, try to elevate the energy of your team a little bit.
Yeah. And, some guys that come about naturally, some guys do that naturally. And some guys don't. And, it's sometimes when you're a bigger guy growing up, people leave you alone. And so you don't develop that animosity. You don't develop that nastiness. Usually it's the little guys that are the chippy guys, the guys that are getting your face, that do those things. The bigger guys growing up, they just get left alone and they don't develop that. That sometimes has to come naturally. But he's got to recognize the situations on the ice. He's got to recognize when Connor McDavid gets hit, he's got to find out the guy who hit him. And do something about it. You can't have Darnell Nurse coming over the boards and then trying to do something about it. And I think that's the issue right now. He's not situationally aware of what's going on around him. I think maybe he's too focused on worrying about what he has to do. But what he has to do is he's got to go in there. He's got to be involved in the scrum. He's got to be involved in everything that's going on. Kind of like a Chuck Sar. They're in the middle of everything. And he's got to be that guy that, there's, Frederick again in the middle of a scrum or in the middle of a tussle or something's going on with him. And he just doesn't do that.
Yes, that is, I think, the element of his game that he could just be more engaged at times. No question about it. Lastly, for not just the Oilers, but, they've got Anaheim, then they got LA. Panarin is in town, but Fiala's out. This young Ducks team, they're chasing and nipping at their heels. Seattle's nipping at the heels. The Oilers are still looking, hey, Vegas is only 4 points ahead of us. Is this a have to win 2 out of 3 stretch for you for the Oilers?
I think so. I think you got to win 2 out of 3, and you got to put a win streak together longer than 3 games. Like you can't let Vegas get away from you. You got to keep, they're step in step with Vegas, and I know Vegas was stumbling. They were having trouble putting win streaks together. But you got to challenge for a top spot in that division. And that's how you're going to get your game going. That's how you're going to get into the playoffs. You want to be playing well going into the playoffs. And I know the Oilers, they've kind of the last couple of years, we'll just turn it on at the end. We'll just turn it on at the end. And as Leon Draisaitl said, he said it before the Olympics. He reiterated today, we can't just turn it on. Like we have to start playing. It's a different team than we had last year and the year before. We have different guys. So the guys that they brought in, they have to make a contribution. And he said it starts from the top on down. He didn't want to throw anyone under the bus. He says everyone's got to be better. And if everyone is better, then that'll raise the level of play for this hockey team. This is still a championship caliber team, in my opinion, but people aren't going to lie down for them. They got to go out there and they got to take it, and they got to be better from top to bottom. and everyone needs to be pulling on the rope. Everyone needs to be contributing, and I think that's what the Oilers need to do. They need to get some wins against, Anaheim's a good young up and coming team. They were what the Oilers were 5 years ago. They're young. Their core is young. They're exciting players. They're well coached. So there's a lot of good things going on in Anaheim, and they're not going to be intimidated by the Edmonton Oilers, maybe like they were 2-3 years ago. Neither are the San Jose Sharks. Neither are the Los Angeles Kings. So this is going to be a really, really, really tough road trip for the Edmonton Oilers. But it's those guys that don't get the 20 minutes a night. Those are the guys that have to contribute. You got to get some wins off those guys' backs eventually down the road here.
Awesome stuff, DVD. We will be chatting with you again next Tuesday. See you around the rink.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me on.
There you go. That is Derek Van Diest. Quick break. We'll come back with our stats today. Wrap things up and more on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
And here comes Action Electrical Service Team sprinting onto the scene. These are your first responders for any electrical emergency.
That's right. With their fleet of service vans and specialized gear, they assess, they service, and maintain electrical lighting and automation systems. They're all about rapid response.
Quick diagnostics and repairs to restore power and safety fast. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Expand your brand with Fusion Promo Marketing. Fusion is your trusted partner for all things branded merch and apparel. Thousands of products perfect for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. Fusion with a Z. Promomarketing.ca.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade. Safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
Getting your vehicle sparkling clean doesn't have to cost a fortune. Take it into Hughes today and pay just loonies a wash.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com. McValue meals are here. Get the McD's you love for $5 plus tax every day with your choice of a McDouble, Junior Chicken, or Chicken Snack Wrap with small fries and small fountain drink. All for just $5 plus taxes. Canadian restaurants. Product availability varies. Prices exclude delivery.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor, the best place for wine, cocktails, and beers from all over the world. Also, a variety of excellent non-alcoholic options. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
It is the final countdown, but we got some good stuff for you to wrap up the show. It's always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. $65 million up for grabs tonight. Lotto Max, get your tickets. PlayAlberta.ca. Also 8 Max millions involved as well. It's the time now for your stats of the day. Brought to you by All Star Construction. Not only have they been founded since 2009, but huge initiatives in giving back in the community. The Grey Withers ladies curling team. They also donate kids to cancer. They got the Wellspring, Alberta House of Cancer Treatment Center, the Claremont Hall Hockey Rink in Spruce Grove, and more. Love giving back in the community. That is All Star Construction. So, a little trip down memory lane. Last year, out of 4 nations, Robert Thomas led the NHL with 40 points in 26 games. Pretty good. He averaged 1.54 points per game. Hasn't been able to come close to that this season. But Oilers fans maybe you remember, maybe you don't. Do you know who led the NHL in points per game coming out of the Four Nations? None other than Connor McDavid. He had 29 points in 18 games, 1.61. Now, he missed a fair amount of games, was a little nicked up, and they rested him down the stretch. Leon Draisaitl was 5th in points per game. He only played 16 games down the stretch. He had 12 goals, 23 points in 16 games. But top 10 scorers coming out of Four Nations, McDavid, like in points per game, McDavid was 1. Crosby was 7th. McKinnon, Makar, Rupe Hintz. So 5 of the top 10 all played in the Four Nations, and all were pretty good. Now, you look at total points, because some of those guys didn't play every game, and some teams had more games. But Sidney Crosby, he played 25 games, had 33 points at his age. So I know there's been some concern about fatigue and everything else, and I don't know. Crosby seemed to handle it pretty well. Veteran guy. And they didn't have anything to play for. But Robert Thomas's 40 points was the most. Kucherov had 39. Pasternak had 38. Suzuki 37. Then Crosby and Matthews. Austin had 33. Panarin 32. JT Miller, Rupe Hintz, and Mitch Marner each had 31. Now, Ovi had 18 goals in his final 26 games last year. 18! So, and now he got a little bit of a break, and that's why I'm wondering what Ovi will do. And I'm really wondering about which player, Connor Halley, so here's the stat, which player will lead the NHL in scoring from now until the end of the season?
Connor McDavid.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I got to go with it. I mean, I think there might be a little motivation coming back from from the Olympic Games here. And why doubt him? Like, they need to get hot. He's the guy who's going to get it going for the Edmonton Oilers. So I just can't go against the captain here.
Okay. I'm looking, if you go back to the last 26 games, McDavid had 45 points in 26 games. Pretty good. But the one guy who I'm going to pick is Nikita Kucherov.
Good pick.
Nikita Kucherov is rested. The guy's been on. Did you know that Nikita Kucherov has 49 points in his last 22 games at 2.23? So you got to go back even farther for Kucherov. This guy has been a point-a-game player for the last 2 months. Right? His last 28 games, he has 59 points. Like that is, now McDavid has 60 and 32, pretty good run, but still 1.88 to 2.11. It's pretty solid. Draisaitl also pretty good in that stretch. He has 49 points in 29 games. Because remember, he missed a few games for the Oilers in that span. So those guys have obviously still been very good in that regard. With McDavid and Draisaitl coming in second and third in points per game, only behind Kucherov. But I think Kucherov, a little bit of rest. And Tampa Bay is a hot team right now. They're hot going into the break. I would think that they will come out of the break pretty hot as well. Point, Kucherov, Hedman didn't play. They got a lot of guys who are rested up. But I do think McDavid, I wouldn't be worried about it, Oiler fans. I've seen some concern about what will happen to McDavid. And, I saw like his fingers are taped together and people people jump to conclusions a lot. It's no different than, McDavid's not going to play in the first 2 games. Based on what? Like nothing in reality. They only have 12 healthy forwards. And now he was suddenly going to sit out. I'd be very surprised if Connor McDavid doesn't play tomorrow. Now, are they going to limit his minutes? The coach even said that. Yes, they'll limit his minutes. I don't think that's a surprise to anyone. Now, remember, the Olympics are different because you're playing France and some other lower teams, but he still, he had 3 points against, a pretty sound, pretty decent Swiss team, and he only played 14 minutes that game, right? He had 3 points his first game against Czechia. So can he score against Dustal and the Ducks? Yeah, I think he can, but I think he would be fine for sure. So that's where I come out on the stance of the day is Robert Thomas had 40 points last year in 26 games down the stretch. And I remember St. Louis Blues fans were like, all right, this guy is broken out. He's going to be it. And guess what happens? You know how many points he has this year? And in 42 games, 33. Now, that guy was a pretty good scorer. He's had 86, 81 points the last 2 years. This is a real down year. He's fallen back big time. It's a big reason why the Blues aren't in it. But it just shows you the greats are able to, they have a hot streak, but then it continues the next year. And, Robert Thomas is a very good player. I think he's like a 0.9 points per game, might be a 0.8 point per game player in his career, really solid, but he's just not up there with the big dogs. And I look at somebody like, could there be a Robert Thomas on another team? Potentially. But, man, look for Kucherov. If you're in a hockey fantasy league, that's the guy to go, hey, guys, I'm picking McKinnon. He's going to want to make up for the missed shot. That one comes from Dan, and a few other people picked him. Yeah, potentially. I think that's going to be hard to get over. It's going to be hard to erase that from your mind. Like, McKinnon is a very proud player. He's like, man, like, how did I miss that? And I know you have to move on, and so you can try, but it's easier said than done. Right? And I'm sure, like, he'll score a goal from there later on and be like, look at the one timer he scored to win. He just had a sneak. That was a perfect shot. He's like, oh my God, I don't even have a goalie in it, and I can't make the shot. So I would think that would be a little bit challenging for sure. Coming up tomorrow on the show, we will talk, of course, head up the orders and the Ducks, a few previews, some other teams. Hey, we're going to have another trade tomorrow. I think we're going to start seeing some trades trickling in here in the National Hockey League. If you missed it today, former owner Brett Kulak has moved again. He's now a member of the Colorado Avalanche. Samuel Girard in a second rounder. And all of Girard's $5 million cap hit this year and next year going to the Pittsburgh Penguins. Other stories, what are you watching on TV tonight? I would suggest the Raptors taking on the OKC Thunder, best team in the NBA. Now, they are a little bit banged up, and the Raptors are good. Maybe better than a lot of us thought. That's a game to watch for sure, I would think tonight. Also, Cavaliers and Knicks, if you're a big Hoops fan, man. Like, those are two, that's third and fourth best teams are in a battle for seeding in the Eastern Conference, and the Cavaliers are rolling, but the Knicks, can't really count them out. The Knicks, I think, have one more point than the Cavaliers, so there's a pretty good battle there. Cons, anything that you will be watching tonight?
Yeah, I'll be definitely checking out the Raptors once I get home. Didn't have the little guy at home. Maybe I'd consider going out to the Oil Kings Medicine Hat Tigers game down at Rogers Place. So that's going to be a fun one. Two of the top teams in the Eastern Conference, but other than that, I'm still looking for a new show to stream. I just finished Fallout last week, which pretty good show, had 2 seasons. But once the sports wrap up tonight, I'll probably just be browsing, looking for something to get going here. Maybe it's time I watch the new Game of Thrones series, Night of the Seven Kingdom, I believe it's called.
Oh, I've watched it.
Did you like it?
Yeah, they're shorter episodes. Like the first few episodes, you're kind of like, you got to stick around.
Yeah.
Right. And you're kind of, oh, geez, where's this going? Like, because of the old Game of Thrones, I'm like, okay, what's happening here? But it takes a while. Then all of a sudden, it's like, I'm not going to tell you which episode, but all of a sudden you're like, all right, okay, now we're into it. And the storyline keeps getting a little bit juicier as we go. So far, I think I'm 6 episodes in. And like I said, they're only 30, 35 minutes, which is a little bit different too, because Game of Thrones had usually like 100 minutes, not 100 minutes, excuse me, like 60 minutes, 55, like legit episodes. So this one's a little bit shorter and not as many character development yet. Like there's kind of focused on just 2 people, but it eventually starts to grow out. So I've liked it. The other one though is, did you ever watch Paradise?
No.
Oh, buddy. The first season of Paradise, I quite liked. And now they have season 2. And so far, I'm only an episode in season 2. I'm like, all right, a little different. Like it's kind of showing you a different viewpoint of it, but it's good. If you haven't seen Paradise, it's basically like the present. There's like an apocalypse, a little bit, Cons, right? And meteor hitting the world. So they go into they built this huge underground bunker and have people residing in it. But then there's a big twist at the end of season 1. And now we're kind of seeing season 2. And if I'm reading the tea leaves right, I think season 2 will eventually connect with how season 1 ended off. And then those characters will meet up. That's what I'm thinking. I could be wrong, but
Disney Plus. I think I just looking here.
Yeah.
Now the Fallout show I just finished also involved bunkers, but it was nuclear war.
Oh, there you go. I haven't seen that.
Yeah, it's an interesting watch. I don't know. It may be just because I was bored and I got into it, but if you're looking for another show, you need something. Fallout's good too.
Fallout.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Haven't seen that.
Based off a video game. And Walton Goggins is in it. He's good in everything.
Oh, yeah. The guy's Ponies is really good too. What is Ponies about? I never even heard that show. It's a thriller series. Person of Interest. Ooh, spy thriller. I like those shows. All right.
Amelia Clark's in it?
Yeah, and
right.
Twyla Hasback. Yeah. Okay. In 1977. All right. So going back in time a little bit. Okay. All right. Might have to try it. I don't like to have too many shows on at once, though. That's what I've learned. I like to have one, right? Trying to limit my TV viewing time, so I kind of take a show, one episode, away we go. I find it works better. So have yourselves a lovely Tuesday evening. Tomorrow it's back, the NHL. We'll get to that and more. The Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Hey, Gregor, check out Black Rabbit. Already watch it. Very good show with Bateman. Very different character. It's pretty good. Let's get to the Con Man and Sports 1440 update brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Home of the no payments, no interest for 1 year on your furnace. Stay warm all winter. LegacyHeating.ca. Good night.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
The Colorado Avalanche have acquired defenseman Brett Kulak from the Pittsburgh Penguins in exchange for defenseman Samuel Girard and a 2028 second-round pick. Kulak has 1 goal, 8 assists in 56 games with the Oilers and Penguins so far. Dallas Stars forward Mikko Rantanen will miss at least the next 2 weeks, possibly longer, due to an injury he suffered while playing for Finland at the Winter Games. The 29-year-old winger did not play in the bronze medal match against Slovakia. In the WHL, Oil Kings and Tigers tonight down at Rogers Place. Puck drop 7 o'clock in the AJ2 games with Whitecourt and Drayton Valley. That gets going shortly. And Calgary hosting the Kodiaks just after 7 in the association. Early with the Raptors up on the Thunder at 19-11. 5 minutes left in the first quarter. Elsewhere, Hawks lead the Wizards 20-13. And the Sixers up on the Pacers 59-46 in the second quarter. Later tonight, Bulls host the Hornets